Hi everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. So today let's talk about the month of December and what energies are available to us for the month ahead. Now, before I dive into all 12 signs, I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. I truly appreciate the love and the support that all of you have given me over the past year, and I'm definitely looking forward to producing this content for you and possibly trying to produce more content for you in 2026. So thank you so much again for your love and support. I am sending that back to you tenfold, my friends, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. So just a reminder, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I do use a whole sign house system. I also use Western tropical astrology. So again, this may or may not resonate with everyone because everyone's natal charts are a little bit differently. And well, they are different. They are unique to us, similar to a snowflake or a thumbprint. But what it comes down to is what house system you prefer. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest. I think watching for your rising would be the closest to a one-on-one astrology consultation with myself, or you can certainly watch for your sun sign as well, or any other planet placement or point that you have in the respective signs to pull all the information together for you, as long as it doesn't confuse you though. So it might be too confusing to watch for your sun, your rising, your moon, your Mars, your Venus. I would say, again, stick to the rising sign if you know your rising sign, and if you don't, that's okay. You can certainly watch for your sun sign as well, because that will at least give you some nuggets of information on what you can expect in your career for the month ahead. And of course, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I do offer that as well. So check out my link and all my other links in the description box below if you'd like to work with me one-on-one. Also keep in mind I have timestamps below as well. Okay, so let's cover off just a high-level overview for the month ahead. So for those of you that like the breakdown of the day-to-day mundane transits, I do have that on the left-hand side of the screen here. So if you want, take a screenshot of that. We're definitely going to go over for each and every sign the full moon and the new moon this month that is happening in the Gemini Sagittarius axes. So we'll definitely cover off that. And just some stations this month. So just a reminder, Mercury is going direct on November the 29th, and this is happening at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So let me just look at my calendar here. So situations from about middle of October to kind of the first week of November, those situations or people, places, things during that time frame, or anything you were trying to get off the ground maybe or get traction on, that could be coming back around at this time, or at least in the month of December. You should get some traction on anything Mercury related that you were trying to move forward with. So this could be communications, this could be text messages, emails, contracts, agreements, anything about signing on the dotted line, even vehicles, for example, you know, anything technology, vehicles, transportation, anything like that that you were trying to move forward with. It should get some traction in the month of December. And Mercury, though, is still in shadow. So yes, he will be direct on the 29th of November, which is great, but he doesn't hop out of shadow, out of that 6th degree of Sagittarius mark where he stationed way back in October, November timeframe, where he stationed at 6 degrees of Sagittarius. So that's where, again, he's picking up that old ground where he's been going back and forth over the last several weeks here. Also, Neptune is stationing direct on December the 10th as well at a really potent, powerful degree point, 29 degrees. Again, some of us might feel this, some of us will not, depending on your personal birth chart. But if you are a mutable sign, so if you have anything at the final degrees of Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Gemini, Neptune has been working personally with you for quite some time now. And 29 degrees is a really powerful degree point, along with 0 degrees and along with 15 degrees of each and every zodiac sign. So again, some of us will feel this, some of us won't. Neptune is an outer planet, just like Pluto and Uranus. Those planets spend half of the year anyway during a retrograde motion. So, I mean, nothing new here, but this is extra special because he's wrapping up his final stay, his approximately 12 to 14 year stay in Pisces, and he's going to officially move into Aries next month, which I will talk about it there. And just keep in mind, I have separate videos down in the description box below if you want to check out Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, or Jupiter in Cancer. So I respectively made separate videos about those big heavy hitters because they definitely deserve their own separate videos versus the sort of quick overview that I give them during these monthlies. But anyway, Neptune is stationing direct, and he will be hopping, I believe, permanently into Aries next month, but we'll talk about that next month. And just think, Neptune's not going to be back around in Pisces for another 165 years. So again, big cycles wrapping up in the Piscean area of your life that started way back in 2010, 2011 timeframe. So that is wrapping up, and then Neptune will be moving into the Aries part of your chart. That's going to, he's going to be working his magic, let's say, in that area of life, and sort of dulling out those sharp edges that the Aries part of our charts, part of our lives always brings out. Okay, now the ingresses this month. So we do have Venus moving into Sagittarius on November the 30th. We have Mercury, I guess depending on when you're watching this video, but as I'm recording this, Mercury is still in Scorpio. Mercury will be moving back into Sagittarius on the 11th of December. We have Mars moving into Capricorn the middle of the month, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. He can really, really express himself well in the sign of Capricorn. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And yes, happy solstice. We have the sun moving into Capricorn as well on the 21st of December. And we also have Venus joining the party in Capricorn, but that doesn't start until the 24th of the month. So she'll be spending most of the month in Sagittarius there. One more quick thing I want to mention before I move on here is just looking at the mundane transits last month, and also in October, we were dealing with a grand water trine. And I was explaining sort of how that energy, some of us will feel it, some of us won't. It kind of shows up as soft whispers or blessings, or just having a good day, everything going well that day. But unfortunately, us humans, we seem to focus and concentrate on the things that are not working in our lives, or are, going south really fast. So that was November. Not saying November was a cakewalk for everybody. Again, this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. But December, just looking at the mundane transits, there's a lot of squares. So squares are similar energy to Mars and Saturn. They can be challenging. However, it's more of a month of taking that action. It's not a month to sort of sit still. You can try, you can try to sit still. But I think even with the holidays, whether you celebrate the holidays or not, I feel like this is just going to amp up that dynamic energy of you want to go out and do something, or you want to take action on something. So definitely, I'm thinking a more dynamic month than November, but what it comes down to is how is this impacting your personal birth chart is where it's going to get more personal to you. I also wrote down here, it could be a month of paying it forward. So if you had any blessings that came in last month, or if somebody gave you a leg up, or if you just had somebody that helped you out, or maybe you had a windfall. I'm feeling like a windfall in love, a windfall in relationships, just a bonus check came through, unexpected money came through, anything like that. And again, I can appreciate this isn't for all of you because we all experience these energies differently, but it is a month of giving back now, giving back to either that person who helped you out, or buying that person behind you in line a cup of coffee. I know that's happened to me quite a few times in drive-through where, yeah, the person behind me or sorry, the person in front of me purchased my meal for me, or my tea, or my latte, or whatever. So it's kind of one of those months, I feel like, and plus, it kind of fits in with the holidays as well. But holidays or not, I'm just feeling like if blessings came to you last month, it is a time to share that back with somebody else. And it doesn't have to be the person that helped you out. It can be your loved ones, family, friends, whatever the case may be, coworkers for that matter, or a boss or an authority figure, or a parent or an elder. The reason why I say that is because anything you put out this month, anything in general, any month, I should say, is going to come back to you tenfold. So just like that person that perhaps helped you out last month or the month before, those gifts and blessings are going to come back to them tenfold. So that is something, again, you don't have to do it. Everybody's in their own, situation. I'm not saying you got to cut checks for thousands and thousands of dollars. It's that selfless act of being of service. With Venus and Mars coming into Capricorn, it sort of gives me the vibe of that as well, because it's not always about money. It's not always about, okay, how can I help you from a financial perspective? It could be just a simple act of being of service to that individual, picking up someone's groceries, shoveling the sidewalks. Yes, I live in the north, so I mean, yeah, as I'm recording this right now, it's snowing. So it's just those little acts of service that comes from the heart, I think could go a long way this month. So just something to consider. All right, and I think that was all I was going to talk about for this quick intro. And we're going to move into all 12 signs. Just another reminder, watch for your rising. If you know your rising, if you don't know your rising, that's okay. You can watch for your sun sign as well. So let's get into all 12 signs. Hey Aries, welcome to December. Let's talk about where I think your focus will be for the month ahead. So the concentration of personal planets is at the top of your sky. So I'm looking at the Sagittarius and the Capricorn area of your life here. And then we're going to come back to the new moon and full moon. So keep in mind, you do have a new moon in this 9th house area of life here. So what is the 9th house? This is your Sagittarius house. By the way, anything that piles into Sagittarius, Aries, makes beautiful, harmonious flowing energy to your planets, placements, points, whatever you're watching for. So if it's your rising, your sun, your moon, your Venus, your Mars, whatever the case may be. So the 9th house is all about religion, spirituality, legal institutions or legal situations or legal battles or legal matters, higher education, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training. This is putting yourself out there, Aries. This is reaching a higher, wider audience. It's about taking those big risks. Sagittarius is all about go big or go home. The 9th house is also about long distance traveling and trips, ethics, belief systems, anything to do with foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, anyone or anything that is different from you, that even might make you a little bit uncomfortable, because again, it's foreign to you. It's so different to how you operate or whatever your belief systems are. The 9th house kind of pushes us a little bit outside of our comfort zone, which is not a bad thing. 9th house is also publishing, dealing with people from all across not only the country where you're living, but the globe as well. And again, 9th house is the house of the gods. So downloads and channeling can also come through this 9th house as well. So that's part of the concentration of energy, or that's piled up for the month of December. Now, once Mars and Venus and the sun moves into Capricorn, eventually Mercury will join the party, but Mercury's going to be hanging out in Sagittarius here for the majority of the month. But still, once the sun and those other two personal planets, Mars and Venus, hop into your 10th house, it's all about career. It's all about your status and reputation, your long-term commitments and goals, your direction. Where do you want to head? Where do you want to go? So for those of you that are still actively working, that is sort of going to be on your mind. Money possibly could be on your mind as well, with Venus hopping in here. I'm really hoping with Venus and Mars in this 10th house, Aries, if you want to attract in a client base, if you want to launch something. By the way, this is not a bad month to launch something. I would just say if you can wait until Mercury gets out of shadow, that's happening around the 15th, 16th of the month, perfect. But again, No such thing as perfect. If you got to launch something this month, at least you have all of these planetary aspects at the top of your sky, Aries. So definitely not a bad month to do it, not a bad month to cash in. Venus is bonuses and commissions coming your way. Mars up here, though, can help you cut and sever a job that's no longer working. So obviously this is not for all of you, but if you are looking for that new job, Mars and Venus and the sun, for that matter, at the top of your sky is going to help you get there. And it's going to also help you look good to future employers as well, with all this incredible energy at the top of your sky, Aries. This energy, though, as it piles into Capricorn, will eventually square your planet's placements points, whatever you're watching for. So if it's your sun or rising sign or moon, it is going to challenge you again to take action. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, not a month where, especially you, I don't think you're going to sit still. I think you're going to want to act on something or someone. Now, for those of you that are not working, this could ripple down. If your true 10th house is Capricorn, this could ripple down into the family sector. But regardless, it's also impacting your 7th house of relationships and also you physically from a personal standpoint as well. So this could ripple into parenthood, parenting, dealing with mother, father, authority figures, as I mentioned earlier, bosses, your relationships, or something to do with your image. And I encourage you, think about the legacy you want to leave behind. And I'm not saying you have to be a billionaire, zillionaire to do that. It could be something big. It could be something small. So if you are not working and you are, able-bodied, I would say, really good time of year to start volunteering. Really good way to channel this energy. I love it when Mars moves into an earth sign. I just feel like this is where rubber hits the road. This is where we get those tangible results that we can pull in. So again, if you're not working, I challenge you to channel it into activities where it's going to make you feel good. And volunteering is always a good thing if you're able to financially, whatever. I'm not here to harp on you. I'm just simply throwing out examples, Aries. So I'm not saying you have to do everything under the sun and run yourself ragged and go bankrupt and live out of a cardboard box. No, no. I'm just saying give what you can. And again, it's about the personal planets coming into the earth signs is about being of service in some way, shape, or form. Or perhaps you are a retired accountant or lawyer or a teacher. Maybe you can give your services in another way and help other people out, just as an example. Okay, let's jump to the new moon and full moons here. Now, I already covered off that 9th house, so you have a brand new beginning. And forgive me, the dates are on the slide here. I know I'm jumping around a little bit here. We have a new moon in Sagittarius on the 19th of December, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet, at the very final degrees of Sag. So Aries, if you have anything at the final degrees of Aries, I'm going to say 24 degrees to the end of the sign to 29 degrees, this new moon is impacting you personally. But regardless, it doesn't matter. If you don't know your chart, don't worry about it. But for those of you that you do, if your sun is there, you can set those intentions of career situations. If it's your rising sign, it could be relationships, or again, contracts, agreements, negotiations, or something to do with your image, diet, health, whatever the case may be, milestones, for example. If it's your moon sign, it might have something to do with your home and your living circumstances or people that you actually live with, or it could be something psychological. Like the moon usually rules our emotional body, and it can also rule our physical body as well. So really nice new moon energy here. It is squaring Saturn and Neptune in your hidden 12th house. So again, there's that additional layer of something hidden that comes to the surface, and how are you going to react or respond to this coming in, Aries? Again, could be just as simple as something unconscious coming into your conscious mind. But whatever this is, this new moon is asking you to act. Don't sit on this energy. Don't fester on anything, my friends. Try to move it try to get it out of your body, because again, the fire signs, you probably already know this, all the fire energy, whether you're a fire sign or not, it is best to try to channel and get this energy out of your body. Just move something, even if it's just your hands, you know, like doing something with your hands just to move the frustration, or again, something coming up from the past and you're kind of like, why is this coming up now? Again, this new moon in Sagittarius is asking you to take it higher, quite literally being in your 9th house, and to let it go. Lean on your belief systems, lean on your religious beliefs, spirituality, whatever the case may be, to help you move through these energies as necessary. But again, this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart, and if the new moon is incorporating any other benefits, say, for example, if you have anything in Leo that you can help lean on as well, if that makes sense. Okay, now the full moon at the bottom of your sky in your 3rd house. Now that is happening on December the 4th, again, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are. This is at 13 degrees of Gemini. So again, Aries, do you have anything around 13 degrees? This is just going to add those additional layers into what this full moon is going to be bringing into you. Now, this full moon is a little bit more quieter in the sky. It's not really making any exact aspects unless I widen up the orb, but it is bending the nodes of fate. So the north node, again, in your 12th house, south node in that 6th house. So first, let's talk about the 3rd house. So 3rd house is the mind. It's how we communicate. It's how we chew on information, digest information. It's education. 9th house and 3rd house is being highlighted here from an educational standpoint, brushing up your skill set, or going back to school, or maybe you're graduating. Everybody's kind of on their own timeline here. 3rd house is also transportation. 3rd house can also be siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives. It's your local community. 3rd house is local. 9th house is more international, or people, places, things at a distance, or even jobs at a distance, Aries. 3rd house is social media. 3rd house is the internet, and 3rd house rules short distance traveling. So tripping and traveling around in your local vicinity, whereas the 9th house, as we talked about, is that long distance, like you're traveling across land or sea, for example, like greater distances than just the local 3rd house. So full moon, endings, culmination point. Now, this might not be about you, Aries. It could be about a new neighbor. Could be changes in your neighborhood, changes in your community, changes in a sibling's life or a relative's life. But again, if you have anything at 13 degrees, it's going to add in that additional layer of maybe there's changes in the career. Maybe there's changes or blessings coming in with your partner, or maybe changes to contracts, agreements, negotiations. Again, Mars at the top of the sky there. There could be changes with the work dynamic, depending on if you're an entrepreneur or if you work in a workplace setting or the corporate world. There probably could be some changes. I'm going to throw it out there as well. Mars at the top of the sky can also make your boss really feisty. And if you're the boss, Aries, well, then you might be a little bit feisty and fired up when Mars moves into Capricorn on the 15th of the month. But anyway, this full moon in Gemini, let me go back to that. I know, forgive me, I'm bouncing around here. It's bending the nodes. So fated events happening in this 3rd house connected to the 6th house of how are you being of service, whether you're working or not working, pets, animals, dietary restrictions. 6th house is anything to do with your day-to-day. That could be changing up as well. And again, connecting to that 12th house of the psyche, of things being brought to light from the dark, or again, you launching something, Aries. Whatever happens around this full moon in Gemini, it could have a destiny type of feel, like fated people, places, things coming into your life. And again, what are you going to do about it? Because it's a square. So squares are not flowing harmonious energy like we had in November. Squares are, what are you going to do about it? You know, that Amazon box gets dropped at your doorstep and you're like, I didn't order that. So are you going to let it rot on your doorstep? Or are you going to do something? Are you going to build something with it? Are you going to open up the box and be like, you know what? Let's see what I can do with this. So anyway, just food for thought, Aries. But otherwise, enjoy the month ahead, my friends. Happy holidays, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey Taurus, welcome to December. Let's talk about the concentration of energy in your house of Sagittarius and your house of Capricorn for the month ahead. So let's get started with your 8th house and let's break that down for you, Taurus. So 8th house is all about deep psychological situations. Big life themes and changes and transformation usually comes out of the 8th house. The 8th house it's a Scorpio house, so it's all about death and rebirth. Again, I'm not saying anyone's going to die, but metaphorically speaking, something coming to its natural end, but something is there to replace it or be reborn, so to speak. 8th house is also those mundane things that we just can't get away from. Yes, death and taxes is one of them that I hear all the time, but also loans, debts, mortgages, any sort of shared finances. So if you share a bed with someone, who do you share a bank account with, for example? Finances are in the 8th house as well. Property, inheritance. 8th house is also the shadow. Deep intimacy lies with the 8th house as well. Sexuality lies here as well, Taurus, and fear, power, control is also in the 8th house. So I get it, a little bit of a darker, more intense feel coming in for you this month, Taurus, but again, it's not going to last forever. This energy will move into Capricorn where it's going to flow into your house a little bit more naturally than in the Sagittarius house, because right now the 8th house doesn't really see you, doesn't see eye to eye with you. It's more of an inconjunct. That's why it's more of a deep psychological sort of stirring. So Taurus, anything that bubbles up this month, you do have a new moon here as well. Anything that bubbles up from the past, any sort of triggers, any sort of wounds that sort of get scratched open by old Aunt Betty that seems to nitpick and natter at you for not yet being married, not yet having kids, not yet being able to do this or do that. Just, I know I feel like we've all been there at some point in our lives, but it's kind of like getting up and excusing yourself and just, stepping away and giving yourself a break from that sort of energy. But just be prepared for that. It could be a trigger like that, but it could also be subconscious, something that just starts bubbling up and you're kind of like, why am I feeling this now? Like, why are you coming up now for me to deal with this? That sort of 8th house energy, Taurus. Now I'll come back to this house because we're going to talk about the new moon. I'm going to now jump to your 9th house of Capricorn. So as the sun and Mars and Venus move in here this month, the energy will shift for you. Like I mentioned, the energy is more so going to flow into your Taurus planets, placements, points, whatever you're watching for, Taurus. So 9th house is the house of the gods. It is getting closer and closer to the top of your sky. It's about international traveling, foreign lands, foreign shores, dealing with people from all over the globe. It's the house of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, reaching a higher, wider audience, book publishing, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training, dealing with legal situations or legal battles, or dealing with big educational institutions. Taurus, just to kind of give you some examples. So that's where I think some of your focus will be this month. And yeah, did I mention education? Yeah. 9th house is more higher education, but really I'm going to expand it to, it really could be any sort of educational pursuit that expands your horizons, because that's what the 9th house wants you to sort of lean into. It's also religion, spirituality, your ethics, and your belief systems as well, Taurus. So Mars in here is going to help you put action, passion, motivation, drive into this area of life, of possibly learning something new. That could be a possibility. Venus in here, maybe you could monetize something. This is money coming in at a distance, especially since she's transiting from your 8th house of financial resources into that 9th house. Hopefully this is money coming to you, flowing to you, especially if you have a client base. This is also a really good transit for your partner as well. If for those of you that are connected with a business partner or a marital relationship, Venus in the 8th house can also bring in those benefits through a partner or government or alimony or however it is that you get paid, so to speak, Taurus. Okay, now let's quickly go back to this new moon in Sagittarius. So it's happening on or around the 19th, depending on where you are on the planet. Again, not making any direct aspects to you, Taurus, unless, again, this is where your personal birth chart comes into play. The new moon is making a square to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in your 11th house. Now, a square is nothing scary. It just means that you need to act on something. Something comes to the surface, something is brought to your attention, and then this new moon is like, okay, are you going to go higher with it? Are you going to go lower with it? What are you going to do with it? Or are you going to just sit where you are and kind of fester on it? It might have something to do with the 9th house matter that we talked about. It might have something to do with your work or career or whatever it is that you do on a day-to-day basis. It might have something to do with your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, like fantasy, what you're trying to bring into form. This might also have something to do with a sibling or a friend or a group, association, affiliation that you hang out with. It really could be many, many, many different things, because again, how is this touching your birth chart? I'm thinking that will add in those additional layers, Taurus. But whatever it is that comes up around this new moon, again, the skies, the stars are asking you to take it higher, incorporate it, and perhaps it's time to let something go so you can welcome in something new into your life on or around this new moon. And yeah, for those of you that are looking for, again, we talked about the 8th house. I'm thinking like taxes, debts, loans, mortgages. If you've been, there we go, waiting for something to come in or something to come to fruition from a financial standpoint, like an application standpoint, I'm hoping, Taurus, this energy will help you out in this 8th house of finances, because this could also be a new fresh start with your finances or your partner's finances, or again, how does money flow into your life, for example. Now, jumping down to the full moon in your 2nd house of Gemini, and same here, same thing here. So the 2nd house, 8th house doesn't really see eye to eye with you, Taurus. That's not a bad thing. You have the flavor of the 2nd house, but what I mean is they don't make any direct aspects depending on what you're watching for. So this is where your personal birth chart comes in. You know, do you have anything at 13 degrees of Aries, of Pisces, of Aquarius, of Sagittarius, of Libra? Like I could go on and on here. That's where the impact of this full moon might hit. But in general, the 2nd house is about money and work and finances and income. Again, how do you earn a living, Taurus? And if you don't work, well, how do you pay the bills? How do you pay your cell phone bill? How do you put gas or electricity in your car? Like how do you pay for the mundane day-to-day stuff, groceries and things like that? So a full moon is an ending, a culmination point. This might also have something to do with your skill set. So maybe the learning is over with and now it's time to get into your apprenticeship, for example. Or maybe it's time to end a job, leave one job and you're moving into another job. Or maybe some of you are going back to school with all this energy piling into your 9th house. That could be it as well. Because again, Mars and Venus in that 9th house might trigger you to hit the books, like learn something new. If you are in that situation, by the way, yeah, the Sun, Venus, Mars, and eventually Mercury will join the party in January. It's going to really help you laser focus in on a new skill set, like learning something new that's going to help in that 2nd house of, as I mentioned, work, finances, your skill set. 2nd house is also material possessions as well, Taurus. Interesting thing about this full moon in Gemini, and this is happening on the 4th of the month, give or take a day or two. Again, I have all the dates on the slide here, you guys, so feel free to take a screenshot. The full moon in Gemini is bending the nodes of fate and destiny. So 11th house, 5th house matters might also be incorporated here. So love, romance, dating, self-expression, creativity, hobbies, children, grandchildren might be mixed in with this full moon. Or again, maybe one of them is having an ending or a culmination point in this area of life. 11th house, as I mentioned before, friendship circles, siblings, people that you hang out with, networking. 11th house is also gains coming in from the career. So again, are you changing jobs, Taurus? There could be faded new opportunities coming in at a distance as well, with all this energy piling into that 9th house, as I mentioned. All right, Taurus, that is pretty much all I wanted to chat about for the month ahead. So I want to wish you a fantastic December. I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season as well. And we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Gemini, welcome to December. Let's talk about the concentration of energy in the opposite side of the street across from you in Sagittarius, and also your house of Capricorn as well, which doesn't exactly see eye to eye with you. I don't mean that as a bad thing, but that's why the 8th house is sort of more of a psychological house, or it can be, because we don't exactly see the 8th house from our vantage point. So, Gemini, let's get started with your Sagittarius house, the house across the street from you, where you have a lot of energy. The sun is still there, depending on when you're watching this video. We have Venus there, we have Mercury there, and we have a brand new fresh start there as well. So 7th house, pretty straightforward. Contracts, agreements, negotiations. This is the house of marriage, signing on the dotted line or signing your life away, however you want to say that. Business partnerships lie in the 7th house. Love relationships lie in the 7th house. It's anything to do with the other person, anything to do with your one-to-one connections with another person. So again, this could bleed into family, friends, loved ones, marital partnerships, business partnerships, your clients, your customers. The 7th house reflects that back to you as well. It's sort of, the 7th house is the mirror that we reflect back to each other, Gemini. So that house is definitely going to be in focus this month. So quite simply said, focus is probably going to be on your one-to-one connections or your one-to-one clientele, for example. Now, once this energy, like once the sun, I'll come back to the 7th house here, but once the sun and Venus and, well, Mercury doesn't move into Capricorn, I believe, until next month. But Mars will be there, Venus is hopping in there, and the sun is hopping into your 8th house this month as well. So 8th house energy is going to shift to financial situations. Could be your financial situation or your partner's financial situation. Depends on, do you have a business partner? Do you have a business connection? It's kind of like, who are you sharing a bed with? And then also, who are you sharing a bank account with, for example? 8th house is the mundane stuff that we cannot run away from. Yes, death and taxes. I'm not saying anyone is going to die, Gemini, so please don't take it that way. 8th house is debt, loans, taxes, mortgages. It's dealing with big banks, big financial institutions who loan us this money so we can, put forward a business loan, build a home, buy some property, get a vehicle loan, whatever the case may be, Gemini. So finances are definitely going to be in focus for you, possibly this month. Now, if that doesn't resonate, it might be psychological. 8th house again is I wouldn't say hidden like the 12th house, but it does bring the flavor and feel of transformational experiences externally, but also internally. Big life shifts and changes usually happen in the 8th house as well. So don't be surprised if with all these personal planets pouring into the 8th house, if things come up from the past, like bubble up from the past, and it sort of scratches a wound a little bit, somebody gets under your skin a little bit, somebody eats away at your shadow, or I should say triggers your shadow, not eats away at your shadow, but triggers the shadow. That's that 8th house energy. And it is bubbling up for a reason, my friends. It's coming up to the surface for a reason, for you to acknowledge it, heal it, and let it go. I know that's easier said than done, Gemini. I can appreciate that, but it's just something to keep in mind if you do feel triggered, especially over the holiday season. I can appreciate the holidays is not sunshine and roses for everyone, and that's totally fine. It's how you utilize the energy, though. It's how you, I guess, take action. As I mentioned at the earlier part of my video, this is a month of taking action, not to sit still and let energy fester in the body. What are you going to do about it, Gemini? is kind of what we're all going to be challenged with for the month ahead. Okay, so I think that's where your focus, or at least the concentration of personal planets, will be this month for you, Gemini. Now let's go back to the new moon and full moon. Now, we talked about the 7th house. You have a brand new beginning here in your relationship sector on or around the 19th of the month, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet. So Gemini, do you have anything around 28 degrees of Gemini? This new moon is going to be incorporating an additional layer here. This is where it gets personal to you. So if it's your Gemini rising, this would be setting those intentions of a new partnership, whatever that means for you. Again, it's not always about love. It can be about business. It can be about your clientele. It can be about going after that big contract agreement or renegotiating something at or around this new moon. If it's your sun sign, it could be something similar connected to the career, your life force, your vitality, even maybe your health and well-being. You know, if it's your Gemini moon, could kind of be the same thing, health and well-being, or something to do with the home front, people that you actually live with in your local vicinity there. So regardless, if you're open to meeting someone new, Gemini, it is quite possible with Venus in your 7th house and also Venus moving into your 8th house as well with Mars there. It's definitely on the table where you could meet a partnership, but I can appreciate not all of you are open to meeting someone new or ready for that next step, or you're in a committed relationship already. And if you already are, you know, really good time of year to spend some time with your partner with Venus in that 7th house. It just sweetens the pot a little bit better when Venus is in your 7th house. And even when Mars and Venus move into your 8th house, you know, this is the house of sexuality. So it's bringing back that spark in your current relationship. So not a bad month to do that if you are currently involved with somebody else, or a partner, I should say. Okay, so that is the new moon in Sag. So something new is brewing here, Gemini. And again, it could be a contract, agreement, negotiation, a job offer, anything to do with another person, a one-to-one connection here. Now we have a full moon in your sign this month, Gemini. So do you have anything around 13 degrees? Again, if it's your sun sign, it could have something to do with career or father figure. If it's your moon, it could have something to do with home, family, foundation, security, people that you live with. If it's your rising sign, again, it could have something to do with partnerships that we already covered off there, or it could have something to do with your life force, your vitality, or your physical being, your physical body, the vessel that you're sitting in right now. Full moons are endings and culmination points. So something could be wrapping up here, Gemini. It's kind of like chapter 1 is done. Now you're ready for chapter 2. This full moon is a little bit quieter, meaning it is making squares to the nodes of fate and destiny. They happen to be in your status, career, reputation zone and your home, family, security, retirement zone, Gemini. So similar to the new moon, and I forgot to mention, the new moon is actually making square aspects to Saturn and Neptune in that 10th house. But that just adds an additional layer to retirement. I already mentioned retirement, career, status, reputation, the legacy you want to leave behind. Full moon, similar messages here, because again, you have the lunations this month are lighting up your big angles. So Gemini, you are one of the signs that are going to feel this energy the most, the lunations this month the most, along with Pisces, Sag, and Virgo. So this full moon might have a faded feel to it, a faded contract, a faded agreement, a faded signing on the dotted line, faded encounters from a career perspective, faded retirement encounters. You know, maybe you retire or you think you've retired, but then you get a job offer to work part-time and it's your dream job and it takes you to, I don't know, Maui or something like that, like something out of this world that you never would have imagined. And then it's going to uproot you, right? Because you do have the South Node in the 4th house of home, family, foundation, security. So I'm not saying all of you are going to move. I'm just throwing out examples, Gemini, of the possibilities with whenever the nodes are involved. I love working with eclipses. I love the nodes of the moon, even though they're technically invisible points in the sky. But once you start working with eclipses, it's wild. It's wild how just eclipses alone can completely change your life. Now, I'm not saying we're having an eclipse month, but again, it's bending the nodes. There's some sort of big life shifts and changes happening for you, Gemini, whether you realize it or not. Faded opportunities for family members too, because this would impact your local vicinity, your local environment, people that you actually live with. So your kids, your partner could be involved with this as well, even your pets and animals. So yeah, interesting month ahead for you, Gemini. And as I mentioned, all the mutable signs, because these lunations are lighting you up at the big angles. So this could be a game changer for you, Gemini. Again, depending on your birth chart, depending on how these aspects are impacting you personally. All right, Gemini, I want to wish you a wonderful December, a wonderful month ahead. Happy holidays, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer, welcome to December. Let's talk about the concentration of energy in your house of Sagittarius and your house of Capricorn for the month ahead. And of course, we'll talk about the new moon and the full moon that is happening this month as well. Okay, let's start with your Sagittarius house, your 6th house, that is packed, loaded with planets this month. So day-to-day duty and responsibility, your health and well-being, how you're taking care of your vessel, your body, fitness, diet, pets, animals, habits, even bad habits, the good habits and the bad habits, routines, the workplace, your coworkers, your local vicinity, your local environment at the workplace for those of you that do work. It's your responsibilities that you have to another person. The 6th house is how can I be of service? So are you in service to your children, an elder, your workplace, coworkers, your clients, things like that? It's how can I be of service? So it's all of those duties and responsibilities and obligations that we have to, again, you fill in the blank, to another person, or it could be your pets and animals as well, right? They are at the mercy of us. Because even if you don't have kids, it's the same thing. You know, who's going to feed them and bathe them and take them for their little walks and their little bathroom breaks and stuff like that, Cancer. So I have a feeling, Cancer, I don't think you're surprised to hear this either. I think you're going to have a busy month ahead, because for those of you that do even celebrate the holidays, something tells me there's going to be a lot of you out there. You're going to be putting on the big dinners, the showcasing everybody, bringing the family together, because that's exactly what Cancerians do. But please take care of yourself, Cancer. I'm going to harp on you a little bit here with Jupiter in your sign. Yes, he is retrograde, which I'm actually kind of grateful for. If he was direct, I think you'd really be running yourself ragged, but thankfully he's retrograde. So I challenge you, Cancer, you got to take care of yourself this month too. Do something special to you, for you, even if it's just once a week on a Saturday or Sunday. I want you to do something for yourself, Cancer. So please don't forget to schedule in yourself and your own downtime. And I can hear some of you already. I have no time. Make time. Schedule in that time, Cancer, okay? Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. So that's the 6th house energy. With Venus in here, I'm just going to throw it out there for those of you that are single and looking. With Venus dancing between your 6th house and 7th house this month, you definitely could meet somebody new. You could meet somebody at a Christmas event, a holiday event, a workplace event, or connect with someone at like-minded interests as well, like a networking event, if that makes sense. But again, Venus moving into the 7th house will also ripen the pot. Well, Mars is there too, will help ripen the pot of meeting somebody new. That's only if you're interested, of course, if you want to put yourself out there. Okay, let's jump to the 7th house of Capricorn. So as the Sun and Venus and Mars all pile into Capricorn, middle of the month, this is your 7th house of partnerships. So this is across the street from you. Cancer. So this is all about other people, the other. So this could be business partnerships. This could be love relationships. This is your marital house as well. This is anything to do with your one-to-one connections. This could be your clientele. This could be signing on the dotted line, contracts, agreements, negotiations. Cancer. So I'm just going to put it out there. Venus in here as well can sweeten the pot if you want to renegotiate something or if you want to raise your prices. Not a bad month to consider it, Cancer. I'm just going to throw it out there. And for those of you in a relationship, in a marital relationship, or well, even for business partnerships, wherever Venus goes, she smooths things over. So even in your 6th house of day-to-day work, this is actually really nice energy coming in for you as she's moving across your 6th house and 7th house. This should bring in benefits to you from these areas of life as well, Cancer. So I do hope somebody pampers you for once, Cancer. That would be really nice. That would light me up personally. Okay, let's see here. So that's all the energy pouring into those respective houses. Let's talk about the new moon and the full moon. So you do have a brand new fresh start on or around the 19th of the month. Again, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet, but it's not so much about the day sometimes. You know, the fresh new beginnings could start before the new moon or after the new moon. So Cancer, are you looking for a new job? Are you looking for a new health routine or health regime? Are you looking for a new practitioner to help you get there? Are you looking to kick a habit? Really good energy coming in around this new moon on the 19th to put something in place that's going to stand the test of time. Now, this new moon is being challenged by Saturn and Neptune upstairs in your 9th house. So this new moon, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It might feel restrictive because because Saturn's in the mix. But with Neptune, it can kind of soften the blow a little bit from Saturn. But I'm thinking this might be a faded connection to foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign cultures, people at a distance from you, relationships at a distance from you, whether this is in business, love, clients, whatever the case may be. Again, romance could be coming in at a distance, Cancer, only if you're open, wanting that. I'm just throwing out examples, Cancer. This is not going to happen for all of you. Educational pursuits, educational opportunities to teach, to mentor, to coach, to train, publishing. Maybe you get an offer out of the blue, but you're kind of like, oh, the timing is horrible. Like Christmas is around the corner. I don't have time for this. So it's kind of like that sort of opportunity, a faded opportunity that could be coming in around this new moon that is, I'm thinking, bigger or faded than what you could have imagined. But there will be a challenge to it. There will be a but to it. Right? Like maybe you got to hop on a plane and fly across the country on, December the 22nd to do an interview or something along those lines. Again, I'm just throwing out examples, Cancer, but whatever around this new moon, it's something at a distance that could be coming in. Traveling long distance, right? It like the timing is off, but again, there's a silver lining, and you won't see that until well after this new moon, because technically this is where you plant your seeds of intention and something manifests like 6 months down the road, for example. Anyway, so that's the new moon energy. Now the full moon energy is kind of in a quieter area of your life. So this is happening on or around the 4th of December in your 12th house, in your hidden 12th house. So this is all about preparing for a brand new cycle. This is endings and new beginnings. Full moons are endings, like a culmination point. This is about letting go, letting something go once and for all. This is about where is your time, your energy, your effort, your love being spent, your resources being spent. This is about awakening, spirituality, growth, dreams, solitude, healing on multiple levels: physical, mental, psychological, spiritual. And the 12th house is also your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Cancer. So again, if you ever wanted to Really good month, by the way, to launch. We have a bit of a window here, December, January, for like a launch period where the personal planets are now direct before we get into eclipse season that starts late January. I'll talk about that next month. But yeah, if you have to launch something, Cancer, not a bad month to consider it. I'm not saying you have to, because January is a good window of time as well. But again, full moons shine a light across the street, Cancer. So all that 6th house stuff that I mentioned, diet, routines, pets, animals, that could also be coming to the forefront, because the full moon always shines a spotlight across the street, but also illuminates the house it's in. Some of you, did I mention, some of you could be getting a new pet with the new moon this month as well, because that's a fresh new beginning. That could be welcoming a new pet into your home as well, Cancer. Also, this full moon is bending the nodes of fate, destiny, being in the right place at the right time in your communication sector. That's where the nodes are. Traveling, fated travel, as I mentioned before. I know I'm going to repeat myself a bit here, because the lunations this month are both activating the same areas of life for everyone, where the nodes are sitting. That's where Saturn, Neptune, North Node, and South Node is. So this full moon might also activate your travel houses, transportation, how it is that you get around, communication, writing, publishing, teaching, mentoring, coaching, brushing up your skill set, learning something new, Cancer, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Like, don't be surprised if these lunations might make you uncomfortable. I would say lean into it. But again, I'm not here to tell you what to do, because fate is at play here. Destiny is at play here. Yes, it might be a last minute text message, phone call, something from a client. You pick it up, you impress them, boom. And your life starts or I should say, your life doesn't start, but you have this big life change that happens perhaps in the new year. Like something totally unexpected coming out of the blue. So those are just some simple examples, Cancer. But anyway, enjoy the month ahead, my friends. I wish you a wonderful holiday season. Take care of yourself, and I will see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Leo, welcome to December. Let's talk about all of this concentration of energy in your 5th house and your 6th house. So this is your Sagittarius house and your Capricorn houses. Now, Leo, I know you usually like Sagittarius season, and you do like, or usually like, I guess it depends on what you're watching for, if it's your sun, your rising, or any other planet placement point that you have in Leo. But anything that piles into the fire signs of Aries and Sag makes harmonious, flowing energy into your Leo placements. So Sagittarius season is usually a good season for Leos, but again, this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart, my friends. So anyway, what is the 5th house? So the 5th house, you have the flavor of the 5th house, Leo. So it's all about joy and drama and flair and romance and dating and sexuality. It's also the house of children and grandchildren, love affairs, dating, creative projects, creativity. It's your hobbies. It's anything that lights you up and lifts you up from the inside out. It's also the house of entertainment and gambling as well. Like, think of the Hollywood, Bollywood. That is what your sign embodies, Leo. So with all this spicy, fiery energy in Sagittarius, I hope this energy is lifting you up, Leo, because you're going to need it. Because unfortunately, yes, with the planets moving into Capricorn, you don't really see eye to eye with the 6th house, meaning you just don't see it. It's not a negative house. It just means that you don't see it, but it kind of gives the feeling of like back to work, back to school, back to routine. It's like the strict teacher or the parent coming in. This is Capricorn, your 6th house. Okay, back to work, Leo. So I guess what I'm saying is enjoy this energy while it's in your 5th house. And I'm going to come back to your 5th house because you have a brand new fresh start here in your 5th house, which is really exciting. I love this for all the Leos. Also, I'm going to say it now before I forget. Venus in your 5th house clearly can mean a relationship. And even when she moves into your 6th house, it could mean you're meeting somebody at work or through a creative pursuit. like through an outlet. I'm thinking like a hobby or a creative outlet or something that you do on the side maybe, or a business. You definitely, love is on the menu this month for you, Leo, if you're looking. Okay, those are for the single Leos. If you're looking, yeah, Venus is going to help you get there, because wherever Venus goes, she not only smooths over things in these two areas of life, but she attracts. She attracts in love and money and beauty, and then she's making trines to you, Leo, making you look really attractive, even for those job interviews, my friends. So this is, December's not a bad month for that type of energy for you. Okay, let's quickly jump to your 6th house. So as the sun and Venus and Mars move into Capricorn, Mercury won't move in there until next month, but we'll talk about it next month. But again, lots of planetary energy, personal planets moving into that 6th house. So what is the 6th house? Again, it's work. It's how you're being of service. Again, it's a bit heavier, Leo. It's duty, responsibility. It's our obligations to not only ourselves, but other people in our lives. It's duty and obligation to our pets, our animals, our home, people that we live with, and work. Quite frankly, work, whatever it is that you do from a 9 to 5. So whether you have clientele, whether you're a business owner, or whether you work for, a big corporation or whatever the case may be. 6th house is also your local, like, well, I shouldn't say local, but for those of you that actually go into work, it's like your work environment. It's the atmosphere. 6th house is also your coworkers. 6th house can also be rental agreements for those of you that that resonates with. Just to throw out some examples, 6th house is also diet, health, habits, routines. So again, getting yourself back on track into a healthy regime or routine. Mars is going to help you with that as well, because Mars can cut and sever anything out of your diet that is not working. When Mars is in the 6th house, I also find inflammation of the guts can sometimes happen. Not for everybody, but for those of you that are a little bit more sensitive, notice what you're consuming this month, because Mars can help you kind of like trigger something in your body, and then you can pluck it out of your diet and be like, oh, that's what's irritating me, is spicy foods or caffeine, and maybe I'm going to back off of them or talk to my doctor, or whatever the case may be. 6th house can also help you with connecting with a practitioner that's going to help you out as well, because Mars functions very well in Capricorn. I love Mars in the earth signs. It's where rubber meets the road. We get some traction, action, no more talk, no more fluffy bunny, no more big ideas. It's like, let's get moving on this and get some traction and see some tangible results, Leo. So again, not bad energy, but if you've been, living like a rock star lately, now it's time to just roll into trying to get back on track. And these planets will help you. They're not working against you. This is not a square. It's an inconjunct. So they're working in different ways, more so the inconjuncts are more psychological versus literal. But again, this is where your personal birth chart comes into play here. So that's where the big concentration of energy is for you this month, Leo. That's where I think the two areas of life are going to come into focus. Let's go back to that new moon though. So you have a brand new fresh start, as I mentioned, in that 5th house. So do you have anything around 28 degrees of Leo? I would say 23, 24 degrees to the end of the sign. So 29 degrees of Leo. That's going to add in an additional layer. So if it's your sun, this would be something to do with the career or father figures in your life, or your health and vitality, or your personality for that matter. If it's your rising sign, it could have something to do with your relationships, like new love, new business, new contracts, new agreements, new negotiations coming to the forefront, or something to do with marriage as well. If it is your moon, it could have something to do with home, family, foundation, security. Like what makes you safe and secure or feeling at home, Leo. There could be changes around the home front as well, or people that you live with, just to throw out some examples. But in general, being in your 5th house, Leo, again, new romance, new dating opportunities, new hobbies, new ways to express yourself. I would have to see more signatures here, but I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. It is the house of children. So Leo, it could have something to do with a milestone in a child's life, or you talking about starting a family, or maybe you're trying to get pregnant. For those of you that are trying, by the way, yes, definitely a good month to take advantage of the sun being in here, Venus is here, Mercury is here, and this is where Mercury went retrograde back and forth, and a brand new beginning. With all this powerful personal planet energy, yes, I would say try Leo, right? Try to get pregnant if you are looking to start a family. Even the full moon shining down on the 5th house, again, puts a spotlight on children, a child, a grandchild, or fertility or pregnancy, or taking those next steps if you are having difficulty in getting pregnant. So I'm just going to throw it out there as a possibility. And if you're a male listening to this, be careful. If you're dating and you're having a good time and the sex is flowing, again, take those next steps, because this energy makes you very fertile. So I'm just gonna throw it out there, especially with Mars in here, my friends. Mars does not roll into Capricorn until the 15th of the month. So sorry guys, you're not off the hook either. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. But again, not a pregnancy signature for everyone, but I can't ignore a loaded 5th house. That to me screams pregnancy, or the possibility. The possibility is there. Now, this new moon though is making a square to Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house. So squares are going to make you move. They're going to make you take action. Coming from the 8th house, this might have to do with a financial situation. Like maybe your kid wants to get into hockey. That's all I hear about living in Canada. Hockey, hockey, hockey. And man, the stories I hear from parents, the expense of kids going into hockey, or, well, any sport for that matter. But I mean, Canadians seem to live and breathe hockey. But so sorry, I'm picking on hockey. I apologize. But anyway, just as an example, you could be blowing a lot of money on a child or a grandchild for that matter. There's some sort of financial component here too from a hobby or creative standpoint. So maybe you're getting into woodworking and you're spending a ton of money on all of the tools and all the equipment and setting up your garage, for example. That could be another example. So there is a financial connection here of debts, taxes, loans, tightening up the belt, maybe from a financial perspective. And if it's not you, it might be a partner. It might be a partner saying, Leo, really? Like, can you pull back the reins a little bit? So anyway, those are just some simple examples, but regardless, you may need to think outside the box. You might need to get creative if it is going to cost you a little bit of money to do this creative project or creative endeavor, or again, welcome in something new into the family, into the household. Now, jumping up to that full moon in Gemini on or around, and sorry, I do have the dates on the slide here, Leo. So that new moon in Sag is around the 19th of the month. Full moon in Gemini is happening on the 4th, give or take a day or two. Now, the 11th house. This is shining a spotlight in the 11th house, but also down in the 5th house, because that's how the lunations work. So this is older siblings. Siblings in general, I'm going to throw it out there because, excuse me, it's a general reading. Siblings, friends, groups, community, memberships, associations, affiliations, people that you rub shoulders with personally or professionally. It's also your role within these groups. It's the house of hopes, wishes, dreams, gains. So the 11th house brings in gains from the career sector, social media. It's the house of the future. It's also another house of what supports you, what lights you up and lifts you up. So this is an ending and culmination point, Leo. Again, if it's not you, it could be a sibling. It could be a friend. It could be your relationship to a professional network, or how you network, or how you put yourself out there, or how you use social media. Or again, it could be a 5th house matter that we already talked about there. One interesting thing about this full moon, and you're going to hear me repeat myself here, it's bending the nodes of fate. So the nodes of fate are in your financial axes. So north node in that 8th house where Saturn and Neptune are, south node in that 2nd house of work, finances, resources, your skill set. So Leo, this full moon, similar to that new moon, may have a financial component to it. And it is a square. So again, Leo, what are you going to do with this energy? How are you going to respond or react to news, communication, something that comes your way, an opportunity? And if it does come, it might be uncomfortable, right? Squares are uncomfortable. They're not like sextiles and trines. Squares are going to make you think, and sometimes you got to think fast and on your feet. And you know, squares keep you on your toes. But Leo, just know that whatever happens around this full moon, it's fated, it's meant to be. You might need to spend a little bit of money. You might need to tighten up that belt around these lunations. But I mean, Leo, you're going to survive. The eclipses are helping you work through financial situations between yourself, your partner, how you set your pricing, what kind of raise you go after, whatever the case may be. The work, the talent, the skill set that you have, Leo, some of that might be up for some change this month, or some introspection, or again, maybe opportunities coming in from that 11th house. All right, Leo, enjoy the month ahead. I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Virgo, welcome to December. Let's talk about the 2 areas of life that are going to be highlighted for the month ahead. So your Sagittarius house I'm looking at, and also your Capricorn house as well. Keep in mind, Virgo, as these planets every single year they do this, they pile into Sagittarius. So I'm specifically talking about the personal planets. So that's the sun, that's the lunations, that's Mars, Venus, and Mercury. And also keep in mind, you've had Mercury retrograde back and forth between your 3rd house and your 4th house as well. We talked about that in October and November. But this month, with all the planets still hanging out in Sagittarius, they do make squares to your planet's placements points, whatever you're watching for. Now, squares are not a bad thing. It just means that they're going to make you move. Now, for you with all this energy in your 4th house, if this is truly your 4th house, this definitely could indicate a move, especially with the new moon here, which I'll come back to. But what I mean by move is taking action on something or someone, responding, reacting to incoming information or incoming news. Again, depending on what you're watching for, if it's your rising, if it's your sun or your moon, it might change the dialogue a little bit. So always keep that in mind this time of year. And really, also when the planets move through Pisces, and also when the planets move through Gemini, those are the times of the year that you can act and take big action on. I'm not saying the trines and the sextiles you can't take advantage of, but as I described last month, sometimes trines are a little bit too easygoing and easy flowing. And guess what? We don't do anything with that energy because, again, it doesn't light a fire under our butts, Virgo. So if there's anything you want to change on the home front, not a bad month to get that done or wrap that up this month. So 4th house, home, family, foundation, security. It's kind of like your security blanket, Virgo. What makes you feel safe and secure at home? When I say at home, what does at home mean to you? You know, your place of living, your country, your origin, your ancestors. Like, what makes you feel safe and secure at home? Or where do you feel at home, Virgo? Also, the 4th house is retirement. Some of you could be thinking about retirement, planning for retirement, shuffling into retirement once and for all, or semi-retirement maybe. And the 4th house is also mother, father, authority figures in our lives as well, or elders for that matter. Also, you as a parent, Virgo, could be coming into focus or coming into the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. So that's the 4th house, big concentration of energy there. Now, once the sun and Venus and Mars shuffle into Capricorn this month, Mercury will join the party, but not until January. But, you know, the sun, excuse me, the sun, Venus, and Mars still pack a punch on their own. So The fifth house, though, what I like about the fifth house for you, Virgo, is it's flowing into your sign a little bit more easier. So this is where you can kind of get that break. Now, I know the holidays are crazy, so some of you probably are like, well, that doesn't resonate with me. Again, this energy just means it's flowing more harmonious to you versus the fourth house that makes a square to your energy, Virgo. Again, depending on what you're watching for. So the fifth house is a fun house. It's a fun, lighthearted house. It's romance, dating, sexuality, self-expression, hobbies, creative endeavors, creative projects. It's anything that lights you up and lifts you up from the inside out. It is the house of joy and entertainment and gambling and luck. And also the fifth house is children and grandchildren as well, Virgo. So Mars in here, Venus in here, the sun in here is definitely going to make you take action in this area of life. And maybe pick that passion hobby back up again. For those of you single and looking to meet someone new or open to meeting someone new, it definitely could be full on. Venus in the fourth house could mean you find somebody locally and you bump into each other in an unusual way, because again, it's making a square to you. Or a relative or a family member might actually connect you with someone. Or once Venus moves into your fifth house, again, this is flowing more harmoniously to you, Virgo. I would say put yourself out there for sure, because once Venus comes into your fifth house, again, you are shining. You're shining bright to this person, and it's going to attract. Wherever she moves in our birth charts, she attracts in usually love, money, and beauty, Virgo. But again, this depends on your personal birth chart as well, and how the Capricorn house is talking to the rest of your birth chart that adds those additional layers of how you're going to connect with that person, or how you're going to, maybe launch that hobby into a business, or think of a new way or a new creative way to incorporate a new product into your business, whatever the case may be, Virgo. So that's where I think some of the energy is going to be spent this month, or the focus will be spent this month, Virgo. Now let's go back to that new moon in your fourth house. So this new moon, I know I'm jumping around a little bit here. I have all the dates on the slide if you want to take a screenshot. New moon in your fourth house of, again, home, family, roots, ancestry, your place of living, property, the past, retirement, things like that. Mother, father, authority figures. So this could be a new beginning with a mother or a father in your life. It could be a new beginning for you as a parent, or some sort of milestone at this time. If you have any planets, placements, points, Virgo, at or around 28 degrees, this is going to add in that additional layer. If it's your sun, it could have something to do with work-life balance and disconnecting from work, or work pulling at you a little bit. It could have a fresh new beginning with regards to a male figure in your life. That's sort of what the sun represents as well. If it's your moon sign, again, this is a double signature of a new beginning on the home front. If it's your rising sign, this could have something to do with a new contract, agreement, negotiation, whether this is in career, business, or love, or a new endeavor, a new step, a new stage in your personal relationships, if it's your rising sign, or something to do with your identity, or how you identify with, again, your place of living, your ancestry, your identity, your personality, your physical being, your physical body, Virgo. So see what I mean? I could add in so many different layers depending on what you're watching for. But regardless, new moon at the bottom of your sky. This might not be very public, but it could be, because I'll get to the full moon in a second here, because the lunations this month are highlighting the big, heavy angles of your chart, especially if you're watching for Virgo rising, It's hitting all the angles of your birth chart, my friends. So, and again, this new moon, this new beginning might not happen overnight, but it's about planting those seeds of intention of what you want to manifest in the next 6 to 8 months, or 6 to 9 months approximately. Now, the new moon is making a challenging aspect to Saturn and Neptune in your opposite sign. So again, There could be a restriction coming in from a partnership or a limitation. Somebody trying to kind of like, okay, one example I'll throw out there, Virgo, is say you do want to move, okay? Say you want to move for a new career or a new love opportunity. But your family is like, no, like you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere because I need you here and I need you to do this and I need you to do that. Like it's moving away or moving to the homeland. You know, that's just one simple example, Virgo. Or again, sacrificing something, sacrificing a home, a rental property, a rental agreement, anything to do with one-to-one connections with your family, loved ones, business. There's like a sacrifice almost to this new moon, but there's always a silver lining, you guys. Don't take this as negative. I love squares. I personally love squares. My birth chart is littered with squares, my friends. And like, I'm still here. I'm not, dead. I'm not in a ditch rolled out somewhere. Like, I mean, squares make you move. Squares make you take action. I love squares personally. I'm not a fan of trines because trines don't really do much. To be honest, they don't really do much because they don't make us do anything. Sextiles and squares and inconjuncts do things for us. So, but anyway, that's just my spin on it, Virgo. I'll get off my soapbox. But whatever this new beginning is, it is going to challenge you. It might challenge you to step outside your comfort zone. And with Neptune involved, I mean, it could be fated. It could be romantic. It could be spiritual. It could, like, there's something here that you're not seeing yet, but it will be revealed later on down the road. Okay, let's jump to that full moon now at the top of your sky, again, hitting a big angle of your chart. So the full moon in Gemini, I know I'm jumping around, December the 4th, give or take a day or two, depending on where you are on the planet, 13 degrees. So again, what do you have at 13 degrees, Virgo? This will add that additional layer. The sun, father figures, authority figures, your career, your vitality, rising, relationships, your physical body, your physical being. If it's your moon, it's again something to do with home, family, foundation, or the mother. So this could be endings and new beginnings, by the way, with a mother or father. I don't mean death. I mean like just endings and new beginnings for them in their lives or grandparents' life. Or you as a parent, by the way, endings and new beginnings with you with regards to you as a parent, whatever that means. Full moon in the 10th house, career, reputation, status, your public image, long-term commitments, long-term goals. It's the legacy you want to leave behind. It's authority figures, as I mentioned, could be father, could be bosses, whatever, could be mother. And it could be you as a parent. So this is an ending, a culmination point, but full moons light up the entire axis. So the 10th house and the 4th house is being highlighted here. So yes, I know I'm repeating myself, but you see the energy, how it gets layered into one another and how all your big angles are being highlighted here. Another interesting thing about this full moon is it's bending the nodes of fate. So the south node is in your sign, Virgo. The north node is in your opposite sign of Pisces. So this could be about letting go of a career, letting go of a job that just it doesn't suit you anymore. This could be changes at the top of the food chain. If you work for a big corporate company or an organization, there's changes on the career front, changes on the job front, changes to your status, Virgo. So what do I mean by status? This could be going from single to common law or common law to married. Saturn in the 7th house puts a ring on it, my friends. And Neptune in the 7th house, yes, it can dissolve a relationship, Virgo, but you've already been through that. That's like been there, done that already, because they're exiting this sign now. So Neptune could have brought the romance or the new business partnership or the new creative endeavor, project, whatever. And then Saturn solidifies it, puts a ring on it. You're making a commitment. So this full moon is evolving something in your partnership zone as well. That's very fated. Again, very faded. I love working with the nodes. I love working with eclipses. This isn't an eclipse, but again, it's bending the nodes, if that makes sense. It's the little horseshoes there on my screen. So I personally love the lunations this month because, again, squares don't scare me. Squares don't bother me. Whenever I see a square coming up, it's like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get this done and over with so I can reap the rewards. So there's no more delays. Let's just, move forward. So anyway, Virgo, that is it I was going to talk about for the month ahead. Enjoy the lunations, enjoy the month ahead, enjoy the changes that are going to continue to evolve for you in 2026. The nodes are moving out of your sign, my friend, but not until later on in 2026. And I'll stay tuned. I'll make a separate video about that. But yes, these eclipses, these nodes are going to continue to work with you. And I feel like these lunations are activating the eclipses that you've already experienced in the past, over the past year. So anyway, so Virgo, I challenge you, what are you going to do with this energy when opportunity shows up or opportunity presents itself? What are you going to do about it? I guess is what I challenge you to sort of think about and ponder this month. Anyway, enjoy December, my friends. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey Libra, welcome to December. Let's talk about where I think the focus of your energy will be for the month ahead. So I'm looking at your Sagittarius house and I'm looking at your Capricorn house, Libra. But I do want to start with this. Every single year around this time when the sun comes into this area of life, Mars transits this area of life, and Venus, well, Mars comes around every 2 years to this area of life. Venus is about once a year, and of course the sun is about once a year, and similar to Mercury. Anything that piles into the fire signs or the air signs, Libra, always keep in mind that it's flowing beautifully into your planet's placements points, whatever you're watching for, if it's sun, moon, rising, Venus, or whatever you want to watch for. So that's good news, Libra, is what I'm getting at, is opportunities are flowing in from that third house. Now, once the energy moves into Capricorn, though, so this is the sun, Venus, and Mars that's happening this month. Mercury will join the party next month. This is now squaring your planet's placements points. Now, squares are not a bad thing. I'm not afraid of squares. Personally, I love squares because they make us move. They light a fire under our butts. The trines do not do that. The sextiles even are 50-50. It depends on how we want to utilize this energy. But the squares are like, okay, you're presented with an opportunity or a problem or a situation, and you have to act on it. Like, it is reliant on you to act on it, Libra. So 'tis the season. These planets are moving into your fourth house, activating that area of life where you'll need to take some sort of action in this area of life. So let's start back with that third house. So what is the third house? It is quite a busy house. It's the mind. It's the lower mind, communication. It's how we digest and chew on information. It's how we speak and articulate ourselves. Educational pursuits lie in the third house as well. Transportation, siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, your local vicinity, your local community, your local place of living. Third house is also social media, the internet, and short distance traveling and tripping around. Think local. Ninth house is global. Third house is local. And I'll get up to the ninth house where you do have a full moon there as well. So I'm going to come back to the lunations. So everything I rambled off there, you have a brand new fresh start coming into this area of life, Libra. And if you have any planets, placements, points, angles in Libra at or around 28 degrees, this is going to add in another layer. So if you're watching for Libra moon, this could be a change of property, a change of living situation, or changes in the home. If it's your sun sign, it could be changes on the career front or changes with a father figure in your life. And I forgot to mention the moon. If you're watching for your moon, it could be changes in the mother or a mother figure in your life, I should say. If it's your rising sign, relationships, one-to-one connections with people, business, love, marriage, really anybody, seventh house is anything to do with the one-to-one connections. Your first house is more about your identity. So if it's your rising, it's your identity, it's your personality, it's how you project yourself into the world. But again, this new moon, if you're watching for your rising, this would activate your love line, your descendant in Aries. If you're true, again, your rising and your descendant would have to be running along the Libra Aries axis there. So just to give you some examples. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this new moon here. Now, once the energy piles into Capricorn, this is your fourth house. This is home, family, foundation, ancestry. What does home and security mean to you? Your place of living could be in the spotlight. Renovations, actually with Venus and Mars moving in here this month, excellent time, Libra, to beautify your space, make your space comfortable. Mars will help you renovate, blow out walls, motivate you to paint, put up new curtains, things like that. And, we're out of Mercury retrograde. So I would say, Libra, go nuts. Just keep in mind, Mercury is still coming out of shadow. So if you can wait until closer to the 15th of the month, that would be best. But again, renovations, beautifying your space, bringing in that beauty and safety and security. Think of a nice fuzzy blanket, whatever the case may be, bring that into your home and living situation. This is the time of year to do that, especially with the Sun, Venus, and Mars there. It's going to give you that laser focus to get stuff done around the house, my friends. So I love this for you. Or again, if you wanted to update the refrigerator, update your bed, like anything you can think of to do with the home or your living situation. Really excellent month to start that. And you'll have this energy in January too. So don't think this is one and done. You can start in December and you'll definitely have this energy carry into January for you. Fourth house is also people that you do live with. This is mother, father, authority figures in your life. And this is also you as a parent. If you are a parent, this is about you as well. So Libra, those are the two areas of life I think are going to be coming into focus for you. Now, going back to that new moon, you have a brand new fresh start in this third house area of life. Now, the thing about this new moon, though, is it's making a square aspect to Saturn and Neptune in your sixth house, at the final degrees of your sixth house. So this could incorporate challenges with diet, health, nutrition, or something to do with a pet or animal might need some extra special care around this new moon, or something might come to the surface that brings something to your attention that maybe they are dealing with, your pets or animals. Again, I'm not saying they're going to die. I'm not saying the world's going to end, Libra. It's just possibilities here, because a square to the new moon, this is a brand new beginning in your third house, but it comes with some restrictions or challenges because of Saturn. But I mean, Neptune softens the edges. So I do like that sort of energy. But again, Neptune can make things a little bit blurry. So if you are signing on the dotted line, say you're buying a new vehicle, putting a bunch of money or parts into your vehicle or transportation or however you get around, or if you're buying new technology stuff, anything to do with tech, new computers, laptops, phones, televisions, smart devices, the refrigerator I was talking about earlier, anything to do with that, make sure the warranty is there, make sure you understand what you're buying, things like that, because Neptune can make it a little boozy woozy. And then Saturn can make it feel restricted or delayed or frustrating or whatever the case may be. Like maybe you go to order car parts or your refrigerator and then you won't be getting it now until January the 1st or something like that. Again, is this going to happen for everyone? Absolutely not. I'm just throwing out examples here. But another angle is diet, health, nutrition, my friends. So maybe it's time to clean up that diet. Saturn's giving you one last squeeze of the old belt line before he moves into your seventh house. So it could be a health related matter or work, because the sixth house is also how can I be of service. Whatever this is, Libra, again, it's not the end of the world. The new moon is technically making an opportunity aspect to you, whatever you're watching for. It's just that Saturn's going to gut check you on something, and then Neptune might bring in the softer touch but Neptune can also pull the wool over our eyes a little bit here. So again, if you're signing on any documents, just make sure you understand what you are signing up for, or what you're purchasing, or what you're getting yourself into, especially if you're getting a new job, I'm thinking, like, or if you are relocating, for example. Just make sure you understand that contractual agreement or rental agreement that you're getting into. Okay, let's jump up to that full moon. So the full moon in your 9th house upstairs at the top of your sky there, this is an ending and culmination point in this area of life. Or again, think of it this way. Chapter 1 is done. Now we're moving into chapter 2. So similar flavor feel. The 9th house, 3rd house has the similar feel of like traveling and transportation, except 9th house is at a distance and the 3rd house is more local. So 9th house is also religion, spirituality. It's the justice system. It's the legal system. So if you've been dealing with any legal battles or whatever situations, that should get some traction around this lunation. And forgive me, I have the dates on the slide, you guys. I know I'm jumping around, but just take a screenshot and you can read through the dates here of when exactly these lunations are happening. 9th house, higher education. Again, your educational axis is really being lit up, Libra. So there could be endings and new beginnings with your skill set, upgrading your skill set, or going back to school. Or maybe some of you are finishing up school and now it's time to look for that first job or move into an apprenticeship. 9th house is also, as I mentioned, long distance traveling, ethics, belief systems, international matters, anything to do with foreign shores, foreign lands, foreign cultures, publishing, writing, dealing with people from all across the globe. This is the house, this is the area of life that's going to push you outside of your comfort zone, Libra. This is the house of the gods. So it's those downloads, it's those intuitive hits you get, and then what are you going to do about it? How are you going to act on them? Similar to this full moon, my friends, if you have anything around 13 degrees of Libra, again, it's pouring a harmonious flow into your sign. So again, if it's your sun sign, it's the career or father figures in your life, or bosses. If it's your rising, it could be a relationship coming in at a distance, or they don't live in your local vicinity. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Venus in your 3rd house, Venus in your 4th house. You could find love locally or at a distance. So I'm seeing either or could be coming in for you. If it's your rising sign, as I mentioned, relationships, business partnerships, love, marriage, making a commitment, signing on the dotted line, as I mentioned, and also rising sign, this would be something to do with your identity. Who and what you identify with, how you identify with, you fill in the blank. Your personality, your physical body. If it's your moon, it's something to do with possibly mother figures, female figures in your life, or something to do with the home front, changes on the home front, Libra. Now, this full moon, what I find interesting is it's bending the nodes of fate this month. I find this really interesting. So anything that happens around this full moon, Libra, is dusted with fate and destiny. This is when the universe steps in and says, okay, this chapter's closing. Now this is coming in. What are you going to do about it, Libra? And because it's a square, again, it's about taking action. How are you going to utilize this energy? How are you going to respond to this new moon and full moon? Because again, the new moon is also making a square to Saturn and Neptune. Now, the nodes of fate are kind of in, well, the south node is in a quieter area of life. So it could be about another nudge from the universe to let go of limiting beliefs, things that are holding you back. Where is your time, your money, your effort, your love, your energy being spent? It's time to let something go, Libra, once and for all. Or again, this full moon is just another reminder. Like, hey, I really think you need to let go of this subconscious whatever. Now, the north node, it's also bending the north node there in your 6th house of, again, work, duty, responsibility, how you're showing up, how you're being of service. So whether you're working or not, it doesn't matter. How are you showing up in this area of life? your pets, your animals, your family, your duties, responsibilities, habits, routines. Maybe Libra, it's time to kick a bad habit. Maybe it is, again, this is another signature I'm seeing as something to do with diet, health, routine, finding the right practitioner, getting a second opinion, connecting with a dietitian, cleaning up the diet. Like the sixth house is very busy. So it really could be anything to do with your day-to-day routine that might get actually changed up around, well, either or lunation, I would say. All right, Libra, that's all I wanted to mention for the month ahead. So enjoy December and have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Scorpio, welcome to December. Let's break down the month ahead and where I think your focus or concentration of energy is going to be for the month ahead, including the lunations we'll also break down as well. So your second house is loaded up with planets right now, I guess depending on when you're watching this video, but we have the sun there, we have Venus there, we have Mercury there, we have a new moon. You have a fresh new start here in your second house, which I'll come back to. And you do have Mars there. However, the sun, Mars, Venus will eventually move into Capricorn later on in the month. So first, let's break down that second house. It's your money. It's your work, whatever you do on a day-to-day basis for work, finances, income, your personal material possessions, your values, how you earn a living. So again, if you're not working, how do you pay the electricity bill? How do you pay your cell phone bill? How do you pay your internet? How do you pay for the gas in your car, the groceries, whatever the case may be? Scorpio, it's how money flows to you. And the second house is anything to do with what exactly belongs to you as well, Scorpio. Second house is also your relationship with money. So when I talk about money, or when I say finances or your savings account, your bank account, how do you respond or react when I say that? Like, does your body tighten up? Do you not want to hear it? That would probably answer your question about what exactly is your relationship with money, and how do you treat money? Do you treat it with respect, or does it just kind of like hit your bank account for 5 seconds and then boom, it's gone? So that's what I mean about your relationship to your financial cash flow. So that's where I think your focus is going to be on this month, or part of your focus. Now with Venus and Mars in here, depending on when you're watching this video, of course, the sun is in here, Venus is in here, Mercury is in here, Mars is in here, and actually this is where you experienced a bit of a Mercury retrograde, which I've covered off the past couple months. But Mars in a financial house, whenever I see this, it's kind of like, okay, Mars will burn a hole in your pocket. So this is about going out and blowing the big bucks on something big, something expensive, which is totally fine. But what I like is that Venus coming in here now, she's going to fill up that hole now. She's like, okay, here's a big hole in your bank account. Now I'm going to fill it back up for you, Scorpio. So you're definitely lucky if you've already spent your money or whatever the case may be, and you're like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or whatever the case, buyer's remorse. Venus, I'm hoping, will help you out, my friends, especially Venus coming into a work house. I'm hoping this is good for bonuses, commissions, that client finally pays you, you finally get your big paycheck, whatever the case may be, my friends. But wherever Venus goes, she attracts in love and money and beauty. For some of you that are open to meeting somebody new, you're going to hear me repeat myself, by the way, a couple times, because I see a couple signatures this month. For those of you that are single and looking, there are some signatures this month that you could connect with someone either through work, whatever you do from a 9-to-5 perspective, or through a hobby. Like you could connect with this person through a shared interest, a shared hobby, a shared creative endeavor or project as well. And you also have a fresh new beginning here as well, my friends. So I'm going to come back to that in a second. I want to now talk about your third house. So the sun, Venus, Mars will move into your third house this month. And again, wherever these planets move, that's where we laser focus in, and it activates this area of life for you, Scorpio. And the cool thing is, Capricorn, the house of Capricorn, is making opportunity aspects up to your planets, placements, points, whatever you're watching for. So if it's your sun, this would be something to do with the career opportunity. If it's your moon, it's something to do with home or place of living or security, your roots, your ancestry, or people that you live with. If it's your rising sign, again, here's another signature of business partnerships coming in, love relationships coming in. There we go. Or making a commitment to someone or something. Also, this involves you if it's your rising sign. So this would be about your identity, who or what you identify with, whether it's through work or business or career or your clientele. Seventh house, your love line there is also your clients. So for those of you that own a business, run a business, this is also activating your client line as well, or the area of life where you draw clients towards you if you are a business owner. So I do like this for you, Scorpio. I'm hoping this will generate either income or business or love or opportunities for those, some sort of one-to-one connections that's going to benefit not only you, but another person as well. So third house is a busy house. It's communication, it's technology, it's social media, it's siblings, cousins, neighbors, neighborhood. Like the third house is very local. Think about your local vicinity or local environment. And when Venus moves in here, again, for those of you that are single, another signature here of meeting someone locally in your local vicinity. But again, I talked about the connection to, because your fifth house is being activated here as well, which I'll get to with the lunations here. Okay, so those are the two areas of life that I feel like are being activated this month. Now the lunations are activating your financial sectors, your personal finances, and also your business partner or marital partner's finances are up for some possible change this month. So let's first talk about the new moon. Yes, I'm jumping around a bit. The dates are on the slide here, so if you want to take a screenshot, feel free and do that. But the new moon in Sagittarius in your second house on or around the 19th of the month. Again, new work opportunities. New opportunities to brush up on your skill set, to learn something new that you can carry with you into that third house. It's also setting the intentions, planting the seeds of what you want to manifest when it comes to money, work, finances, resources, or any sort of material possessions that you want to own, for example. The new moon is making a square to Saturn and Neptune in your fifth house. Now, I'm not afraid of squares, Scorpio. You know, squares make us move. Squares make us act. Squares make us do something. Trines don't do that. Even sextiles aren't, like sextiles are opportunity aspects. So again, they're 50-50. It's kind of like, well, what are you going to do about it? But squares are kind of like an ultimatum. It's like, say a new job opportunity comes your way, but say you got to fly across the country on December 22nd, have an interview, or sign a contract. It's kind of like the inconvenience that comes in with this new beginning, new opportunity that's trying to find its way to you. Or maybe you want to brush up on a new skill set, and for some reason the course starts on like December 26th or something like that, or December 22nd or something like that. It's kind of like, I guess it depends on if you celebrate the holidays or not, but it's sort of like the timing is off with this fresh new beginning that you're excited about, but then it's like Saturn and Neptune in your fifth house brings in that restriction. Now from the fifth house, it could be your kids blocking you. It could be your kids restricting you, or your kids saying, well, no, this is going to make us move across the country, and we don't want that. We want to stay here. You know, can you wait till we graduate, or can we stay here on our own, or whatever the case may be. Or it conflicts with a hobby or a side hustle or a project that you got going on, and then this new work opportunity is asking you, okay, maybe you got to put that on the back burner for a little bit and then dive into this new opportunity that's coming in. So again, this is going to play out differently for everyone. I just thought I'd throw out some examples of, again, the fifth house is making a beautiful aspect to you, Scorpio. So I don't see this as the end of the world. I just see this as kind of like a conflict between maybe work-life balance, home life balance, something to do with your kids or grandchildren, or somebody maybe that you're just dating. You know, maybe you're just starting to get to know someone, and then you get this amazing work opportunity that kind of messes up your holiday plans, or again, it's an offer abroad. You know, Sagittarius is something at a distance, getting an offer at a distance that might challenge your fifth house, relationships, children, love, romance, dating, sexuality, your hobbies, like something like that flavor, Scorpio. But again, I don't see this as a bad thing. It's more like a compromise, I think. Now, the full moon, I'm jumping now to the beginning of the month, December 4th, give or take a day or two. The full moon in Gemini is also landing in a financial house for you. But the 8th house is a little bit different. It rules other people's money. But if you're single on your own, again, this is a financial house. So this is going to impact your income stream, how money flows to you. But if you are in a committed relationship or in a business partnership, this is an ending, a culmination point, or a change to their finances, to their income. Something is being changed here. 8th house is also psychological situations. So if money doesn't resonate with you, it would be deep psychological change, something bubbling up to the surface that needs to be healed. 8th house is big life shifts, big life changes, big life transformations. Internally, externally, it's like the death and rebirth house. I'm not saying you're going to die, Scorpio, but, you know, metaphorically, something might need to end in this area of life. 8th house is also taxes, debts, loans, shared finances, shared property, inheritance. It's the shadow. It's intimacy, so sexuality, how you connect intimately with your partner, taking that next step with your partner, perhaps. And it is the house of fear, power, and control as well. Now, the interesting thing about this full moon is it's bending the nodes of fate, destiny. Now, I touched on that 5th house. So you have the north node in your 5th house, you have the south node in your 11th house. So I don't want to drive you nuts by repeating myself, but again, this full moon has the flavor of romance, dating, sexuality, getting to know a new person, getting to know a new partner, or something to do with your children or grandchildren, changes in their lives. Again, there's a silver lining with these lunations this month. We're not going to see them right away. Some of us will, some of us won't. It really depends on how this is hitting your personal birth chart. Or this could mean you're walking away or removing yourself or changing a relationship to a friendship circle, a group, affiliations, people that you connect with, people that you network with, friends, siblings even. This could be changes in a sibling's life as well. A creative project, hobbies, things that light you up, lift you up. There's something here that needs to sort of change and evolve. And it's tied to finances. It could be tied to, again, 5th house matters or 11th house matters, Scorpio. So I would say, recommend to lean into these lunations, lean into change, and just see what comes of it. Again, everything is happening for a reason around these lunations. I love working with the eclipses. Just the eclipses alone can change our lives, never mind all these other planets placements, or transits, I should say. But I would say explore it and just see where it goes, Scorpio. You, out of all the signs, you know, I don't think I have to preach to you about diving into the dark, diving into the taboo, leaning into what kind of scares you a little bit, because you never know what's waiting on the other side. You just never know. So I would say take a risk, take a chance. Don't break the bank though. Don't bet it all. And do your due diligence as well, my friends. You out of all the signs know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, Scorpio, enjoy the month of December. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey, Sagittarius, welcome to December. Let's talk about where I think your focus is going to be for the month ahead. Obviously, a huge pileup of energy in your sign, Sagittarius, but then that's going to eventually subside and put some action and passion and motivation and drive into that second house. And then also we're going to cover off the lunations this month as well. So before I get started though, Sag, I want to wish you a happy birthday if you're celebrating a birthday this month. And what a birthday month to start off with. We have a brand new fresh start, a brand new beginning happening in your sign this month, my friends. So even if you celebrated a birthday last month, this is your personal new moon. And it doesn't matter if you're watching for your sun or your rising sign, this is the new moon, the dark of the night, where you plant those seeds of intention of what you want to manifest in the next 6 to 12 months. Because if you've been following me for a while, anything that happens in the first house usually ripples out to multiple areas of life, because life begins in the first house, especially those of us that are Sagittarius risings. So, but again, this is where it depends on, do you live through your sun sign or do you live through your rising sign? There's no right or wrong answer. I have met clients that live and breathe their sun sign, and that's okay. And then others, they live and breathe their rising sign and they don't quite identify with that sun sign. But anyway, the magic happens when you blend them together anyway. Sag. So I'll come back to the lunations. I first want to talk about what exactly is the first house. So depending on when you're listening to this video, you have the sun there, you have Venus there, you have Mercury there, and you have Mars there as well. So lots of activity in that first house. Physical appearance, changes to your appearance, or maybe thoughts or plans of changing up your appearance. The first house is also the physical body, the vessel that we come into the world with. It's our identity. Who, what, where do you identify with? The physical well-being of the body, the health and well-being of the body. Again, how are you taking care of yourself, Sagittarius, internally and externally? First house is anything to do with big life themes, big life changes. It's also your approach to life, especially the rising sign. It's how you enter the world and how you express yourself and sort of project yourself in the world. It's the glasses, the lenses that we wear. Also, it's your approach to life, your experiences, your opinions. So anything that happens in the first house usually means that there is some sort of change or, again, activation that is happening. And you got tons of it happening. This might have already started for you, Sagittarius. I'm thinking even back in October, you might have started to feel this energy sort of coming to a culmination point, which I would say is happening pretty much right now as the energy is moving out of your sign. So once the sun and Mars and Venus move into your second house, the focus is going to be on work or whatever you do from a 9 to 5 perspective. Now, if you don't work, Sagittarius, how is it that you earn a living? How is it that money comes to you in some way, shape, or form? Second house is also our material possessions, anything that belongs to us. It's our relationship to money. It's how we earn a living. It's our savings account, our financial account, our value system also lies in the second house as well. With Mars in here, I'm going to throw it out there right now. Mars, whenever I see him going through a financial house, Sag, it usually burns a hole in our pockets. So since it's the holiday season, I'm going to just throw it out there. Be mindful of how you're spending money. But again, I'm not here to harp. I'm not your accountant. I'm not your partner. But Mars in the second house is pretty unforgiving when it comes to spending money. You're going to want to spend a lot of money. But in Capricorn, it might be a little bit more reserved. But the good news is once Venus pops into this area of life, not until the 24th of the month, she will fill in that hole, that financial gap that you may be missing out on. So wherever Venus flows or goes, she brings in love, money, harmony, and beauty. For those of you that are single and looking, you could actually meet somebody at work, I am thinking, or in a friendship circle, like somebody connects you with something or someone, I should say. A sibling might even connect you with somebody as well. But again, that's if you're open and open to meeting somebody new. So Sag, that's where I think your focus will be for the month ahead, pretty much on you, and also work, money, finances, resources, to sort of sum it up very shortly there. Now let's jump to the lunations. Now we already talked about your first house. You do have a brand new beginning there at 28 degrees. Now where this is going to add in other layers is how is all this energy talking to the rest of your birth chart. So if it's your sun around 28 degrees of Sagittarius, this is fresh new beginnings on the career front, or new beginnings with a father or a boss or an authority figure in your life. If it's your moon sign, this would be fresh new starts on the home front, whatever that means to you or for you. New beginnings with a mother or mother-like authority figure in your life. If it's your rising sign, it is quite literally your identity. But again, it could also bleed into your relationships. If it is your rising sign, it could also attract in a partnership. Business, love, entrepreneurship, your clientele is also ruled by your descendant. So that is the clients that you pull into your bubble, Sag, your atmosphere, so to speak. So this fresh new start really could ripple out to all areas of life, especially if this is your true first house. Regardless, new opportunities should be coming in for you this month on or around the 19th of the month. And again, if you want additional layers, what do you have at 28 degrees of Virgo or Libra or Leo or Gemini or Aries or Pisces or Aquarius? That's going to add in those additional layers. So for example, if Venus is at 28 degrees of Libra for you, this would definitely layer in money opportunities, networking opportunities, and love opportunities coming your way. Now, this new moon is squaring Saturn and Neptune down in your fourth house, my friends. So, a square from Saturn can be restrictive, can feel confining. Now, this could mean restriction coming from somebody that you live with. So you get this wicked opportunity, this offering comes in, and then somebody at home is like, no, you're not taking that. No, you're not doing that. No, you're not going to that event. No, you're not going to go to pole dancing classes or whatever. You're not going to shake your ass in front of a bunch of strangers. That's somebody that you live with could be bringing in that restriction. I can also see this as if any of you are renovating your home or in the midst of buying a home, renovating a home, building a home. Again, there could be delays or restrictions around this fresh new start that you're like super excited about. But then again, Saturn comes along and kind of puts the damper on something. Neptune in here could bring in the sort of like fogginess or illusion. For those of you that are doing renovations or the home, water. Watch out for water leaks, water coming into the basement, water coming into the home, or gas leaks. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not going to say you're going to die. Nothing like, you guys don't take it to the extreme here. But Saturn and Neptune literally at the foundation of your chart can mean, gas leaks, issues with the foundation, especially if you're building a house or buying a house. Just make sure you're double, triple checking all of that. Get somebody to help you out with that. But again, is that for everyone? No. Because again, new moon in your first house doesn't automatically mean you're going to be changing homes. It would have to make an aspect to your IC. So again, I'm just throwing out examples, my friends. Pisces would have to be your true fourth house. But there's restriction or illusion coming in from this fourth house. Family, friends, loved ones, the past. The past could get blurry. Past issues could be bubbling up and you're kind of like, where is this coming from? So that could kind of taint this new moon. But again, Sag, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's just something you need to work through. And again, action, right? The month ahead is about action, not sitting still. Now, the full moon in your opposite sign there of Gemini across the street. Now, full moons are endings, culmination points. So it is in your opposite sign. So that means it's shining a spotlight back on you, Sag. So you're definitely possibly in the spotlight this month. Or again, as I mentioned earlier, extra focus and attention should be put on yourself if you haven't really been doing that to yourself or for yourself lately. So endings, culminations, next chapters with contracts, agreements, negotiations, marital agreements, marriage situations, legal matters, legal battles, business partnerships, love partnerships, anything to do with relationships, anything to do with your one-to-one connections that you are personally connected with. So again, it could be love, business, family, friends, loved ones, people that you surround yourself with, Sag. So something here again is coming to an ending, and it's kind of like, okay, chapter 1 is done. Now let's move into chapter 2. The cool thing about this full moon is that it's bending the nodes of fate and destiny in your 10th house and 4th house. So again, this full moon might have additional layers of home, family, security, ancestry, your place of living, your actual physical place of living, you as a parent, your parents, mother, father, authority figures, people that you live with, or something to do with the career sector, something to do with changing up the career, changing up a clientele base, new clients coming in, old clients dissipating, which is totally fine. Bosses, authority figures, changes in the work environment period could be coming up around this full moon. And again, it's a square. So you'll probably have to, well, we're all going to have to act and react to these lunations this month. But the mutable signs are really being highlighted this month because that's where the lunations are taking place. And the North Node and South Node are also in the mutable signs. So it's not just you, Sag, it's Geminis, Virgos, and Pisces are going through similar energy that the other signs aren't really going through. They are going through, I should be clear, they are going through it, but it's different when they're not hitting the big angles of your chart. So this is where your personal birth chart really comes in here. So there are big faded silver linings with both lunations this month. That's just my opinion. And these are going to make you move. These are going to make you act on something or someone. It's like something coming in, like an offer or a new beginning. And there's a but to it. It's kind of like, okay, but what do you have to sacrifice, Sag, in your career or your place of living? Or again, house renovations or relationships, marital, business, contracts, agreements, negotiations, your clients, you, your physical body, your identity, and who and what do you identify with, or something to do with your career. So anyway, Sag, make the most of it, my friends. Make the most of it. I'm encouraging everyone to lean into this. Squares just mean change. There's just more change coming in this month. And even though we might not see what exactly, why, the who, the what, the why, the where, like why is this happening to me type of energy, we're going to see it later on down the road, my friends. And again, another reminder, set those birthday wishes and intentions for what you want to manifest. Okay, enjoy the month ahead, Sag, and we'll see you back here in January. Happy holidays. Hey Capricorn, welcome to December. Let's talk about the 2 areas of life where I see this concentration of energy happening for you for the month ahead. And of course, we're going to cover off the lunations as well. But before I get started, Capricorn, I want to wish you a happy birthday if you're celebrating a birthday this month. And I will remind you next month, that's when you have your birthday new moon. So that's when you would set those birthday wishes for the next 6 to 12 months ahead. It doesn't mean you cannot set your birthday wishes on your special day, but I'll remind you definitely next month to take advantage of, again, your dark moon where you plant those seeds of intention for the next 6 to 12 months. But anyway, let's talk about your 12th house and your first house, Capricorn. Depending on when you're watching this, you still have the Sun, Venus, Mars, and Mercury in this area of life. And you also have a brand new beginning in the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is interesting. Some folks feel this energy and some don't. All I know is I'm a Cap rising, and every time Mars rolls into Sagittarius, I get no sleep. Mars rolling around in the 12th house is like lack of sleep, or it's a good reminder and refresher to put those proper bedroom routines in check. It kind of gives you a gut check of, okay, shut down the devices and get to bed. But anyway, that might be just me, but lots of energy in this 12th house that will challenge your sleep routines. Let's just put it that way, Capricorn. But the 12th house is also about preparing for a brand new cycle. It is the house of endings and undoings as well. So Capricorn, this is like a huge purge, a huge cleanup of you fill in the blank, whether it's your career, your business, your home, your closet, your basement, your attic, your garage, whatever. It could be physical, but it also could be mental and subconscious as well. Anything that bubbles up. I mean, this might have already happened to you in November. Anything that bubbles up at this time, this energy is asking you to acknowledge it, to heal it, and to let it go once and for all. Now, I get it. That's easier said than done. Work with the appropriate practitioners to help you move through this energy. So again, anything from solitude meditation to working with a light worker or a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, whatever the case may be, depending on what is coming up for you or has been coming up for you for quite some time. 12th house is also introspection of where is your time, your energy, your effort being spent? Where is that going? Is it time to kind of clean up your routines from that perspective? 12th house is also awakenings. It's spirituality, it's spiritual growth, it's spiritual moments or epiphanies, it's dreams, it's solitude, it's healing mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. 12th house is also your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Capricorn. So again, you do have a new beginning here. So something here is being birthed, quite literally. It's almost like double, triple in the dark because it is the 12th house. We don't see the 12th house. It's out of our view, so to speak. Plus it's a new moon. So it's about taking your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, and what are the next steps? Or are there educational pursuits that you want to look into or dive into during this time? So that's the 12th, the hidden 12th house energy. Now, once the Sun and Venus and Mars pop into your sign, Capricorn, again, this is going to kind of feel like a rebirth, sort of another awakening or aha moment, especially when these planets hit either your rising or your sun sign, depending on what you're watching for. It's kind of going to wake you up a little bit more. So the first house is all about you, Capricorn. So focus is now going to go from inward to outward. It could have something to do with your physical appearance. You could quite literally change your physical appearance or have thoughts of changing your physical appearance. It's your vessel. It's quite physically your body as well. I guess depending on what you're watching for, if you're watching for your sun, it's more so geared to the career. But I'm thinking the rising sign would be appropriate for that first house. It's major life themes. It's your personality, and it's also how you navigate the world. It's sort of the glasses, the lenses that we wear, how we see the world through our own eyes, and also our projections there, which happen to be in the Cancerian house, the opposite side of the house to us there, Capricorn. So that's where I think some of the focus will be for the month ahead is sort of taking a step back and doing some introspection. Now, if you're go, 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 Capricorn, my recommendation would be to try to set some time aside this month, preferably beginning of the month, to let these planets percolate. Because I feel like you could also be getting some downloads around this time as well, and sort of your next steps with travel or career opportunities or home, living situation, really anything. Because the 12th house is sort of a wrap up of all of the houses before this energy pops into your first house. Before you start anything new, just make sure you wrap up those loose ends as soon as you can. I get it, nothing is perfect, but it would just be something to ponder for the month ahead. Okay, let's now jump back to that new moon, because there's one thing I wanted to mention is, okay, so you do have a new beginning in this 12th house. And again, it could be about healing and solitude and your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities and everything I already talked about. But this new moon on the 19th of the month, I know I'm jumping around here, Capricorn, but you can take a screenshot. I have all the dates on the slide here. This new moon is being challenged by your ruler, Saturn, down in the 3rd house, and also Neptune at a very critical degree point at 29 degrees of your 3rd house. So again, because this is your ruler, Capricorn, it really could mean anything. It could mean career. It could mean work-life balance. It could mean technology. How do you use technology and platform and social media? Writing, teaching, education, speaking, publishing, I already said writing, my goodness. Your skill set, skills, talents, abilities, what you bring to the table, transportation, modes of transportation, however it is that you get around. There might be a bit of a gut check around this new moon that challenges you from this 3rd house. Neptune might blur the lines a little bit here. Now, Neptune does rule the 12th house, where this new moon is sitting for you. But I'm going to say, Capricorn, if you're signing on the dotted line with anything big or any, like if you have somebody building a website, or if you invest in big technology, or, you know, even buying a vehicle, make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Now, again, this is not, you know, Mercury's coming out of retrograde. Mercury does rule this 3rd house as well. But there's almost like a challenge or opportunity coming out of this 3rd house. And it's sort of like, what are you going to do with it, Capricorn? It's kind of like a gut punch of, say you get an incredible offer coming in, but it's like, you know, you got to start the course, or you got to start teaching on the 22nd of December or the 26th of December. It's like timing is off here, and Saturn rules time. This could also maybe not be about you, Capricorn. This might be about a sibling. 3rd house is also siblings, cousins, relatives, neighbors. So this challenge or opportunity could be coming in from one of those areas of life, those relationships, those one-to-one personal connections. But there's a but at the end of it. It's kind of like, well, here's this new opportunity, and you can go backpacking, you know, in Hawaii for the next month and a half, but you got to take care of your neighbor's dog or your brother's dog or your sister's house or something like that. So this is just an opportunity to work through a challenge, Capricorn. And you're one of the signs I'm not worried about it. At the end of the day, Saturn and Neptune are making really nice aspects to your planets, placements, points in Capricorn. But there's just something about this new beginning that has a silver lining, and you're not going to see it today or tomorrow or the day of the new moon, but you will see it later on. So I don't want to taint the new moon, but I do want to be honest with everyone that, again, this is a month of taking action. This is not a month of sitting on your ass and doing nothing, Capricorn. Again, you're not one of the signs I should have to say that to, right? It's about how are you going to utilize this energy and how are you going to take on this challenge or this opportunity. It's about how are you going to respond to the messages coming in? How are you going to react to the messages coming in? Now, the full moon in Gemini that's happening on or around the 4th of the month is happening in a very busy area of life for you. It's not making any aspects to you, Capricorn. This is where your personal birth chart comes in. This full moon is more so making an inconjunct to you. So the 6th house is day-to-day duty, responsibility, and work. It's how you are showing up. How are you being of service? So whether you're working or not working, how are you being of service? How are you sharing your gifts, your talents, your abilities, Capricorn? If you're able to, of course. I can appreciate not everyone is able to or able-bodied to do so. And if that doesn't resonate, this is the area of life of your health and well-being. Again, how are you taking care of your vessel? How are you taking care of your physical body? Fitness, diet, health, pets and animals are also in the 6th house. Good habits, bad habits lie in the 6th house. Routines, the workplace, your co-workers is the 6th house. Rental agreements, rental properties are in the 6th house as well. Any sort of duty and obligation lies in the 6th house. So it can be a heavy house, but this is an ending and a culmination point, my friends. So this could have something to do with the job, your 9 to 5, the workplace, going into the workplace, changes in the workplace, your diet, health routines. Again, how are you showing up? How are you being of service? And the interesting thing about this full moon is it is bending the nodes that are in your 3rd house and 9th house of travel, long distance or short distance. This is also the educational axis. So again, your talents, your skills, your abilities, learning something new. This is book publishing. This is writing. This is teaching, coaching, mentoring, training. This is going back to school, wrapping up school, researching going back to school, possibly researching a new course you want to dive into. This is fated events happening around this full moon. Again, it's a square, so it might make you move. It might make you act on something. This could even be opportunity, like new work opportunities, new collaboration opportunities, new connecting with new like-minded individuals, Capricorn. But again, with this full moon, there's a but. It's kind of like, but here's this incredible opportunity coming in, but it's almost like a soft sacrifice. And we don't see what it is right now, but we will later on. And again, this isn't doom and gloom. This isn't like, it's a square, you guys. I can't sugarcoat squares. Squares are squares. It just means change and action needs to be taken at these lunations. That's all. Trines are easy peasy. Half the time we don't utilize trines. Half the time we don't feel trines. And the sextiles, half the time people don't take advantage of these opportunities. But the squares are going to make you move. They're going to light a fire under your butt, and they're going to give you almost like an ultimatum. Do you want to go path A, path B, or path C and not do anything about it? But it might eat you alive if you don't take action on something, Capricorn. So hopefully that sort of makes sense. I still love all this energy piling into your 1st house, Capricorn. By the way, Venus is going to make you look very attractive in the 1st house. So if you're single and looking, it can attract in a partnership. Absolutely. Even with Mars and Venus in the 12th house, you can still meet somebody and you're kind of like getting to know them or date them in secret before you tell everybody like, hey, I'm dating this person or I'm seeing this person. So the possibilities are definitely there. Interviewing looks good. Making pitches look good, especially with Jupiter in your 7th house of partnerships. So all of that looks good this month, Capricorn. So enjoy the month ahead. I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season, and we will talk to you in the new year, Capricorn. Hey Aquarius, welcome to December. Let's break down the 2 areas of life that are being highlighted for you this month. And of course, we're going to cover off the lunations as well. So let's start with that 11th house, where I guess depending on when you're watching this video, but at the start of the month, you have Venus there, you have the Sun there, you have Mercury there, and you have Mars there as well. So tons and tons of energy in this 11th house. And keep in mind, you have a brand new beginning, a fresh new start that is trying to happen in this area of life as well, because you have a new moon here as well. So I'll come back to that new moon here in a second. But the 11th house is older siblings. I'm going to say siblings in general because this is a general reading, so it's tough to pinpoint exactly which sibling it is. So I'm just going to say siblings, friendship circles, people you hang out with, personal, professional groups, humanitarian efforts. What does community mean to you? Memberships, again, personal, professional. It's also your role within these groups and associations as well. The 11th house is the house of gains. So it's the money you earn, the gains that you pull in from that 10th house. It's your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments and goals. It's also social media, networking, the future, and what supports you, Aquarius. So yeah, quite a busy house. It's also a lucky house as well. But again, I would have to see your personal birth chart to confirm that. So again, don't bet the farm, my friends. But hey, if you're feeling lucky this month, why not? Why not? Just, yeah, please don't put yourself in a financial bind, I would recommend. Anyway, so Aquarius, that's where I think some of your focus will be. But once the Sun and Venus and Mars move into your 12th house, this is a more hidden house. First of all, Aquarius, I'm just going to give you a heads up. With Mars rolling around in the 12th house, it might disrupt your sleep. I know this personally happens to me. I'm a Cap rising, so I have Mars rolling around my 12th house of Sag. And man, every time he comes around, it's a good reminder of getting back into a bedtime routine, whatever that means for you. Now, if you're a person that works shift work or night work, you're going to thrive, over the next 6 to 8 weeks with Mars in Capricorn in the 12th house. But for those of us with day jobs, it can make it a little bit tough because, again, Mars is fire energy. Mars functions very well in Capricorn. He loves being in Capricorn, and this is where rubber hits the road. So anyway, I don't want to preach about it, but it is a tough transit for those of you that are already dealing with difficulty sleeping or insomnia or whatever you want to call it. Just a heads up, try to be proactive with sleep routines here. Anyway, 12th house is also about spirituality and awakenings, and it's meditation, it's solitude, it's where we go to sort of retreat and recharge our batteries. It's also about where our time, our energy, and our efforts are being spent as well. 12th house is also about our hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Aquarius. So you know what? If you happen to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have all these ideas flowing in, write them down, because it could lead to something bigger than what you can kind of put your finger on right now. So that is also a possibility as well. Because again, this is dreams. Your dreams might become a little bit more vivid as well. And almost like realistic feeling as well. I forgot to mention, with Venus in the 11th house, you could, if you're single and looking to date, you could definitely attract in a partner in your friendship circles. Or maybe a friend becomes, it turns into a relationship, somebody that you already know. Or it could mean like your sibling hooks you up with somebody or connects you with somebody or a friend. Or again, you meet somebody at a networking event, personal or professional. Venus and Mars in the 12th house is also a signature of dating somebody in secret. So that could be a possibility as well. Nothing bad about that transit, especially if you're single. It just means that you're getting to know somebody behind closed doors. You're getting to know somebody more intimately before you maybe, blast out to everybody on social media like, oh, hey, I'm dating this person, right? It's about getting to know that person intimately before, again, once Mars and Venus say move into your first house, then you're like, oh, hey, yes, it's official, we're dating. It's sort of that type of energy. So I'm just going to throw that out there as well. So that's where I think some of your focus will be, Aquarius. Also healing, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. If you can take some time off this month or even in January to, again, recharge those batteries. And Venus and the Sun and Mars are going to help you do that and help you focus in more so on solitude and getting to know yourself again. Again, everybody's different. So maybe some of you that turns you off, but you might crave that with all these planets piling into your 12th house. Okay, so let's jump back to that new moon in your 11th house. So as I mentioned, you have a fresh new beginning. I am bouncing around here, Aquarius. So if you want to take a screenshot, I have all the dates on the slide here. But you have a brand new beginning here on or around the 19th of December. If you have anything at 28 degrees of Aquarius, this is going to add in that extra layer. So if it's your sun sign, it would be a career opportunity, possibly coming in from, again, that 11th house of networking, people that you hang out with, friends, siblings, things like that. Gains from the career house as well. Venus in here can bring you in those gains as well. Or if it's your moon sign, it would be something to do with the home front, new fresh beginnings on the home front, or your place of living. If it's your rising sign, again, it could be a new relationship in business, in love, or a new friend, or a new friendship circle, or a new networking opportunity. Again, rising sign would be something to do with your identity. Who or what do you identify with, Aquarius? Or it could be, again, something to do with your physical appearance. Could be a possibility as well. Now, the new moon is making a square to Saturn and Neptune in your second house, at the late degrees of your second house here. So they are getting ready to move out, not this month. Neptune, I believe, hops out next month, and Saturn later on in 2026. But this new opportunity is trying to present itself in your 11th house, but there's kind of like a gut check coming in from your second house. Second house is money. So there could be a financial restriction here, or a financial delay, or something to do with your material possessions. Maybe you need to get rid of things before welcoming in something else. Or this could mean something to do with your skills, your talents, your abilities. Like maybe you need to brush up on a skill or change up your skill set for this new opportunity that's coming in. And then with the square to Neptune, it could blur the lines just a little bit, Aquarius. I mean, it's a square, so it could go either way. It could make you feel fuzzy, hesitant, blurry, like a connection to finances or work. Again, if this is a new work opportunity, something's fuzzy here. Something's like you can't put your finger on it. So definitely ask for clarification, especially if money is on the line. But I mean, Neptune could also bring in like sort of like a blessing or a fated feel to this opportunity. But then Saturn brings in the but. It's kind of like, but what is the sacrifice on my pocketbook? Or maybe it's a new job, the job of your dreams, but it's a bit of a salary cut. So again, this is nothing negative, Aquarius. It's just you might need to problem solve around this new beginning. And again, you're one of the signs, you're ruled by Saturn. I forgot to mention that. You know, Saturn is your ruler. So you, out of all people, and Capricorn, you're both ruled by Saturn. You know, this challenges you to think outside the box. And out of all the signs, you're the one to do it, my friends. You know, and again, you've heard me say this a billion times. Pluto in your first house is powering you up too, making you a powerhouse over the next, you know, remaining 17, 18 years in your sign. So I think you're going to blow through this totally fine, my friends. But again, this is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. And your ruler is challenging you. Your ruler is asking you to tighten up the belt with this new opportunity that's trying to bring something to the surface in your 11th house. But Saturn and Neptune are bringing you a gut check, a bit of a gut check, or asking you to slow down, take it slow, read the details, or be mindful if there's any sort of investments or money involved, I would say. Just double, triple check the details, my friends. Now, because regardless, this is still a new opportunity coming in. And again, it's in Sag. It's bringing in opportunities into you, into your first house. So the new moon is not squaring you. It's squaring your ruler and Neptune in your second house. So I just want to be clear on that. Now, the full moon in Gemini is happening in your 5th house. And this is happening on or around December the 4th. Now, Aquarius, like, to be honest, the 5th house, the 11th house axes, where you see the lunations this month, you know, those are one of the, well, my opinion, some of the best axes in the entire zodiac wheel. It's a lighter energy. It's the 5th house is romance and dating and joy and pleasure and creative projects, creative endeavors, hobbies. It's children, it's grandchildren, anything that lights you up from the inside out. That's the 5th house. That's where the spark comes from. You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's the 5th house energy. So this full moon is shining a spotlight in this area of life, but it's also shining up to that 11th house that we talked about. So it could be either or. It could be something to do with a child, like a milestone with a child or a grandchild. It could have something to do with romance and dating and sexuality, creativity, self-expression, joy, fertility, gambling, hobbies, things like that. Aquarius. And on top of it, this full moon is pouring beautiful energy into your sign. So if you have anything around 13 degrees, again, it's going to add in those additional layers. So if it's your sun, it's the career. If it's the moon, it's the home vicinity, your home life. If it's your rising sign, it's your personality. It could be your physical body, or it's hitting your love line in Leo there to do with relationships, Aquarius. So you see what I mean? It could be layer upon layer upon layer. The only thing with the lunations this month is, yes, they're making square aspects. So the full moon, though, in Gemini is making a square to the North Node and South Node in your financial sector. So again, there's finances, excuse me, sorry. There's a financial aspect tied to this full moon as well, kind of like what I talked about with the new moon. But it's the nodes. This full moon is not, like, I'd have to widen the orb to include Saturn and Neptune, and it's too far out. But the nodes are right there. So again, a simple one with the 5th house would be, I don't know, say your kids want to get into hockey. You know, I'm in Canada. Hockey is such a big thing up here. That's all I hear parents talk about sometimes, especially this time of year, is hockey, hockey, hockey. And the cost of putting your kids or grandkids through hockey. So that could be an example around this full moon, is you sign up your kid for hockey for the first time and you realize the investment of it for you and your partner, or if you're a single parent. That's one very simple example, you guys. It could be a child or a grandchild. Or you want to dive into, say, woodworking, and you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on the course on how to learn how to do it, or the equipment, or both, right? There's some sort of financial pack, or punch, I should say, to do with this full moon in Gemini, because it's impacting the nodes. It's bending the nodes of fate and destiny. But I kind of like that, though. I like squares. I like dealing with squares because they're going to make you move. They're going to make you act. They're going to make you take the bull by the horns and do something about this energy. It's not a trine. It's not loosey-goosey. It's like, boom, in your face, make a decision, Aquarius, let's go. And again, I'm not worried about, you know, you're one of the signs I'm not really worried about, because you're ruled by Saturn. So you will take this challenge head on, or this opportunity head on, and you will brainstorm and problem solve and figure out, okay, how can I do this? How can I lean into this and make this work? Because I think you will, Aquarius. I just point blank, I think you will. So I encourage everyone to do that, but I can also appreciate this is hitting everyone's charts differently. Again, please don't put yourself in a financial risk situation unless, again, lean into your accountant, your financial advisor. Yeah, you do you with this energy, Aquarius, but all in all, yeah, it's still pouring blessings into your sign and opportunities into your sign, and I can't ignore that as well. So it's sort of like a double-edged energy this month of December. All right, my friends, enjoy the month ahead. I wish you a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now. Hey Pisces, welcome to December. Let's talk about the concentration of energy in your 10th house and your 11th house. And then we're definitely going to be talking about the lunations this month, which is definitely challenging all the mutable signs such as yourself, but you're not the only one. Challenging all of you to take some action this month. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, definitely not a month to sit around. This energy will make you shift and pivot and move and problem solve and take on these opportunities that you may not understand what is going on right off the hop, but there's always a silver lining with these lunations that we might not see today or tomorrow, but we will reap the benefits and the rewards later on in the lunation cycle. So Pisces, let's start with your 10th house. Depending, I guess, on when you're watching this video, you have the sun there, you have Mercury there, you have Mars and Venus there. So tons and tons of energy, plus on top of it, a brand new beginning at the top of your sky, my friends. So this is career, this is reputation, this is your public image, this is your status. So what do I mean by status? What are you known for? So some people, they relate to the career, because again, it is the 10th house after all. But some of us live and breathe through our family, our home life, our family business, our marital relationships, friends, groups, associations. So whatever the public status means to you. Or are you known for being married? Are you known for being single? Stuff like that could be changing this month. Like what you're known for or what you're known for doing, if that makes sense, could be up for some change this month. So I'm just going to put it out there. 10th house is also about your long-term commitments and goals. It's the legacy that you want to leave behind for whoever, you fill in the blank. It's also authority figures. So this could be bosses. This could be, now if you are a boss, Pisces, this could be a flavor of you as well, especially with Saturn and Neptune. I'm going to come back to that new moon in the mix here. This could be about you as a parent. This could be about one of your parents, if they are still with us. It could be about mother, father, authority figure, elder, grandparents. The spotlight could be on them in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, did I mention you as a parent? Yes, and also you as a parent, Pisces, as well. So that is where some of the packed energy is going to be for you this month. Now, once Venus and the Sun and Mars move into your 11th house, this is going to shift the focus from the career to the gains from the career. So this is money coming in from the career. I love this with Venus, by the way. Going after a raise, going after a promotion, promoting yourself, marketing, networking, advertising, job interviewing, like all of that looks really good because Venus at the top of the sky and moving into your 11th house of gains should bring in some money. Or if you've ever wanted to go after asking your boss for a raise, try it, I would say. Try it with Venus in the 10th house because, I mean, what do you have to lose? You know, why not? I would say, why not? The worst they could say is no, and then that's fine. But if you're a business owner too, think about raising your prices with Venus at the top of the sky, Venus in your house of gains. That's a possibility as well. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay. Now the 11th house, that's what I wanted to start talking about. 11th house is friendship circles, groups, networking, personal, professional, rubbing shoulders with like-minded people. This is the house of siblings as well. It's also another house of sort of the future. So long-term commitments, goals, humanitarian efforts, group efforts, your role and your relationship within these groups and efforts and affiliations as well. 11th house is also social media as well, Pisces. So again, if you haven't already done so, get that website up, social media platform, start dabbling in that, because again, I feel like you could be making some traction this month. Mars in Capricorn is exalted. So Mars is going to make the magic happen. Venus is going to be bringing in the blessings, and then the sun is going to kind of like put you in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form with these groups, associations, affiliations, and your hopes, your wishes, your dreams as well. This is the house of the future. So, Pisces, you do you and set those intentions. Speaking of setting those intentions, let's go back to that brand new fresh start in your 10th house. So again, career, status, reputation, new beginnings as a parent, new beginnings for a parent, with a parent, your relationship to a parent, or what does parenthood mean to you for those of you that aren't working. Again, this new moon could be a status, a game changer for you Pisces. Now, the reason why I say that, both lunations this month, by the way, could be a game changer for you because of the squares they're making. Now, I personally I'm not scared of squares. I don't mind squares because squares are going to make you take that action. So the new moon at the top of your sky is squaring Neptune and Saturn in your sign. Not for much longer though. Neptune, I believe, is moving out of your sign next month, but Neptune is at a critical degree point. If you have anything Pisces between, I'd say like 24 to 29 degrees of Pisces, yeah, Saturn and Neptune are sitting right on you. And I can appreciate that is not easy energy, my friends. It's not easy to have one, let alone two, sitting on you, especially your rising sign, like physically, boom, sitting on you. Well, Neptune's a little bit lighter than Saturn, but Saturn can feel heavy, and Neptune brings in the like boozy woozy disillusionment, but you out of all signs can handle Neptune because Neptune is your modern ruler. But because they're in your first house, Pisces, I just feel like this new beginning could be a game changer in your career, your status, your reputation, your relationships, love, business, marital, contracts, agreements, negotiations, your one-to-one connections, your home life, your place of living, almost whatever you want, Pisces. And I know it sounds strange, but that's what squares do. Squares give us the motivation, the action, the passion, the drive to change our lives. Trines do not do that. Trines do not do that at all. It's the squares that make us put forward that change. The sextiles are okay. Like all this planetary energy piling into Capricorn. Yep, you're going to be getting those opportunities coming in from that 11th house, but I don't know if you're going to take advantage of them, Pisces. This is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. Excuse me, but squares, they're going to make you move. They're going to make you act. They're going to light a fire under your booty, and they're going to be like, okay, Pisces, is it A or B, or are you going to sit on your ass and do nothing about it? But it might eat you alive if you don't make a decision. It's sort of that sort of mentality, and I don't mean to scare you, Pisces. That's just, I can't really sugarcoat squares. It's going to make you move. It's going to make you make a decision. And there is a silver lining with these lunations. There always is. Like, this stuff doesn't happen to us. The planets aren't like, we're going to lay down the law on you here, Pisces. We're not going to punish you. This is happening for us, not against us. So I know, Pisces, I sound preachy, but I'm just asking you to lean into this new opportunity at the top of your sky, because again, this could be a life changer. This could be a game changer. And it might ripple out beyond what you could even comprehend right now. Similar to the full moon. So we'll jump to the full moon in Gemini. Again, these lunations are highlighting the big angles of your chart. if you're watching for Pisces rising, if you're watching for your Pisces sun, this would be more tailored to career opportunity and your health and well-being and vitality. If it's your moon, it's more focused around the home front and people that you live with, or mother, father, authority figures. It could mean changes coming into their lives. But if it's your rising sign, so rising Pisces, your descendant goes through Virgo, this is activating all your big angles, my friends, which is really potent and powerful for all the mutable signs this month. So you're not alone. The Virgos, the Geminis, and the Sagittarians are going through the same energy this month. And I'm not saying the other signs aren't impacted. They're going to be impacted in their own way. But anyway, full moon in Gemini, 4th of December, give or take a day or two, happening at the bottom of your sky. Now, full moons are like endings, culmination points, but full moons shine a spotlight in the opposite side of the street. So again, your 10th house is being highlighted here again at this full moon lunation. But it's also shining a spotlight in your 4th house as well. So 4th house is home, family, security, what makes you feel safe and secure at home, your roots, the property, or any sort of properties that you own, the past, retirement, mother, father, authority figures here again. 10th house, 4th house is impacting both parents, or could be impacting both parents, or again, bosses, authority figures, grandparents, or you as a parent, Pisces, in some way, shape, or form. That could be evolving, changing, milestones being reached, things like that. So changes on the home front, my friends. Now, this full moon, though, is making a square to, or I guess what I'm calling it is bending the nodes of fate and destiny. So I find this really interesting. I'm curious how this is going to, play out in everyone's respective areas of life, because you have the North Node in your sign, Pisces. So anything can happen. Like, nothing is off the table with these lunations for you. That's what I mean, because you have the eclipse cycles are running through your sign and Virgo, but the North Node is in your sign. So this is where you're being asked to welcome in something new. But guess what? It's not going to be comfortable. Again, this is not a trine. It's not easy peasy. If it was a trine, who knows if you would even take advantage of it. So that's what I like about squares. It's like they're going to wake you up, they're going to shake you up in a really good way, and there's always a silver lining for them. So, and if you are open to meeting someone new, Pisces, if you are open, again, I'm seeing so many activations for a relationship coming in. You could meet somebody at work, you could meet somebody in your friendship circles, a sibling could hook you up with somebody, a friend. You could meet somebody at a networking event or a holiday event or the Christmas party, holiday party, whatever, at work. But then again, if you're watching for your rising, Pisces rising, the lunations could be hitting your love line as well. This is where I would need your chart. Like, is your rising at or around 28 degrees or 13 degrees? Give or take 5 degrees on either side. This could bring in a relationship. This could bring in a new job. This could bring in a new opportunity to make more money. Or again, maybe somebody says, hey, I think you should apply for this. I think you should go after this. Or I think you should go after that client. I think you should raise your prices. Again, there's something that comes across your path, a very faded opportunity or event. And it's sort of like Pisces. I challenge you to lean into it and just explore it. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting preachy here, but yeah, not a bad month, Pisces. I think you can make a lot of traction in your career for those of you that are interested. But also I can see a retirement signature here too, or semi-retirement or moving into part-time. That's a possibility as well, my friends. So enjoy the month of December. I wish you a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you back here in the new year. Bye for now.